Okay, mate. Well, it's good to see you. Yeah, if the surface is flat or curved, you should measure it to see if it's flat or curved.
Yeah, I'm not trying to prove. I'm trying to prove the idea that it would be easier to disprove, to prove something than to disprove it.
Oh, yeah. But with regards to the Earth being a planet and a sphere, do you think that's easily provable?
I mean, so it's harder for you to disprove it.
Well,
It's
you could
harder for me
prove
to
that there's no
disprove.
curvature.
Yeah, sorry. It's harder for me to disprove that the Earth is a sphere. Well, I would just measure the surface to see if it had curvature, and then we would know if it had curvature or not, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I know about it. I mean, they experiment with
so
the
that's-
laser from one shot to
That's all we
another
need to do
shot.
then.
And
Oh, it's not just an experiment. It's not just one. It's actually how we survey on the Earth every day. Yeah. So if we
No,
want to
like
answer
the-
that question, I guess we just measure the surface of the Earth, right?
yeah, by the experiment, I mean like the one that like kind of points out that like truly, because when you look at it, it seems, but this like in the daily life, you don't feel like the Earth is flat. But this experiment, like
So what? Whoa! In your daily life, you don't feel like the Earth is flat, although that's everybody's lived experience. You
yeah, I
don't see
think
a sphere, do you? You see the Earth as flat, don't you? Let's have a reasonable, honest conversation now.
honest one. Well, I don't know.
Okay,
Like you
so
see flat stuff, like that's the way we accept it. And I remember the zooming stuff that when you zoom in, you kind of see the ship itself. You don't see like only the top of it. And
that would depend on the weather conditions, but we're not talking about observations. We're talking about measurements, surveying with tools, including lasers, but not only lasers. Not just one time, hundreds of thousands of times.
yeah, to be honest, I don't see why you get so emotional here.
No, dude, I'm not emotional. Maybe it's because I'm English. I'm not emotional. I'm just making the point so you can understand it. It's not emotional, dude. Please don't speak to me like that, or you will see emotional response.
Probably that's the cultural difference that we have. Yeah, my bad.
So it's easy to disprove the Earth is a sphere because we measure the surface of the Earth to be horizontal over distance. Right? Or was that too emotional for you?
No, I mean, I wasn't here for any references or disproving or proving the curvature or everything else, because I know that it's like indifferent for me currently. I mean, it will not change my salary, nor will it change my status in life or whatever. It's just something that I don't quite care about, because I'm not a pilot to navigate a plane, nor am I a ship captain to, like navigate as well.
Yeah, it's not going to change your daily life at all. You've always treated the Earth as flat and stationary.
See, like, I mean, by knowing the fact that it was a globe, for me personally, I wouldn't quite, change, or it wouldn't be quite a difference for me.
If somebody came up to tell you that it was raining, but it wasn't actually raining, they were urinating down your back, do you think you'd want to know?
I didn't quite get your example.
If somebody told you it was raining, but actually they were urinating on you, pissing down your back, would you want to know? It's not actually rain, it's golden urine, but he's telling you it's raining. Now, would you like to know the truth that it's not actually raining, or are you happy to think that it's raining?
Actually, I think this example is a bit inaccurate.
You don't even know where I'm going, dude. I'm just trying to ask you if you'd like to know the truth about a situation or not. And it seems to me that you would rather just be happy to continue in whatever belief you've got, which is fine. You can do whatever you want, dude. It just stumbles me when people say, well, I don't care, it's not going to change my life. Okay, if you like being lied to constantly, then I guess that's fine.
No, I see what you mean, but those are completely different like examples of not caring about some things that don't quite affect your life and those who do. So if you're being urinated, it actually affects you because your clothes are gonna be wet, you're gonna smell, you're gonna stink. And
Where do you come from? How did you get
in
here?
Central Asia, here, where do you
How
mean
did you
here?
get here?
Here
What
is
would you
like the
base
Discord.
your theology on? How were you created? How were we all created? How did the earth get here? What is the point to life?
I think you're getting from one topic to another topic.
No,
Like
I'm just
you're
gonna fucking not
shifting.
bother talking to you, dude. I mean, if it's like talking to a brick wall, I just won't bother talking to a brick wall. It's fine.
No, totally. I mean, like, we haven't finished the first part, and you're already moving to a different part. Like,
What's your point,
you.
dude? Do you feel hard done by? What's your point?
My point is that your example doesn't correctly represent.
Oh, for fuck's sake, he's upset about my fucking analogy.
Yeah, because like when I tried to give another one, you said that your example is quite nice, and like, would you?
I'm
You
just trying
didn't
to ask
quite
you if
give.
you like being lied to. It's a very simple question. I was trying to make it flowery for you so we could go on a wandery little imagination and come to a conclusion ourselves. But fuck it, I won't bother with that. Do you like being lied to?
Quite. Oh, if that changes nothing, then why not?
Then I worry about you, sir. Then I worry about you.
I don't know. I mean, come on. Would you be upset knowing that
Dude, this is
your
why
whole...
people are weak in the fucking world. Because that answer that you just gave me, well, I'm comfortable. It's convenient for me. You wonder why the world is in such a state? Because we're bringing up weak men with weak minds. All right, it doesn't matter to me. I'll be fine. I got my fucking PlayStation. Fucking weak.
Yeah, well, could you please define weakness, please, for me? What is it to you? Is it
Yeah,
like
no
the ability
backbone.
to be
No
angered and...
backbone, dude. It's your responses are weak. It doesn't matter to you. It's like you're placid. It's like there's no fight in you about anything. It's like, I wonder why we are like we are. I'm trying to point out to you that you think something and it's wrong. You would rather believe the thing that's wrong because it's more comfortable to you. Okay? You can go and do that, but I'm worried about the state of the world.
But there's the question then, you are, so as you said, you're worried for the state of the world, but if you're not able to change it, it's not even in your power. Why would you spend your time and energy to worry about
Because we
it?
talk to people like you.
That gives me no answer at all. So because you're speaking to people like me, you're worried
Mhm.
about the world.
Yeah, for 8 years we've been talking to people like you who can't admit the truth that they see with their own eyes and are more comfortable to believe in the lie because it's more convenient for them. That's worrying.
I
I
didn't
mean,
say that
you
it's
sound like a
convenient.
reasonable man. Take yourself out of the position for a second, and do you not agree that that's worrying?
I meant that there is no point in you of being worried. So you spend your time, your energy, and your
This isn't
stress
going anywhere,
on...
dude.
No, it's quite going. Like every conversation will eventually get to some point.
Not
Like, so I
really.
got a bit, I have known a bit more about you and your vision, but I still would like to collect more data about each other to come to a better conclusion rather than shouting or, like
Oh, I'm definitely not
claiming.
shouting at you, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
especially, by the
maybe
way.
me and you shouldn't speak and you'd speak to somebody else, dude. Thanks, goodbye.
See ya.
Well, I happen to be back, so if you want to switch gears.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, like, but still, that was like separate conversation, like mine and his and yours and mine. I mean, like, it was more personal to his observation of world. But I read the comments in the chat, and there was like, it's a yes or no question, man. And I mean, like, okay, so if I answered yes and no, then wouldn't it be so, like, if I have asked someone a yes or no question, then eventually I would like to hear his reasons and his
Think of the
belief.
yes or no answer.
So, no, I'm talking to the guy in the comments.
I know what you're fucking doing, dude, and I'll just jump back in because you just made a complete arse of what actually happened. You're gonna piss me off, dude.
Yeah, but you know, I don't worry about it at all because it will not affect my life at all. So that's what I'm talking about. I have like the peace, not the comfort, but the peace. Yeah, well, so here's the, yeah, do you like being light or no? So if I give no or yes question, then I would like to have some room to give some reasons and to give some circumstances, because your answers will eventually or partially every time change based on the circumstances you're at. So imagine, here's the thing. You have got a bullet in a gun and you have got a guy to kill in front of you, just a child. Would you kill him or not? Probably most people would answer no. But if there's another guy pointing at your head, and like, so you would have no room to choose.
That's lovely.
So you did get the point, didn't you?
No, that's lovely.
What does it mean? Like,
No,
what
that
do you
was
want
lovely
to
what you
say?
said. That was lovely. I don't have anything else to say apart from that was lovely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so you did get the point, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I wasn't really listening to you. I stopped listening about
Well,
5 seconds ago. Why are you talking to me? I thought you were talking to Yoder.
Yeah,
because
let's
you,
switch gears. Okay, here's the situation, and I'll be quite blunt and frank and short with this. The entire world has been deluded into accepting this outer space myth involving a globe and now a Big Bang cosmology. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane. This has been going on for hundreds of years with increasing intensity and acceptance. And there are very simple ways to dispel the myth of the globe through casual observations as well as highly precise scientific instrumentation used to measure the curvature of the Earth and coming up empty each and every time. Nobody can measure the curvature of it when they try. And this is what's so frustrating. And we can see how it's demonstrated by professors who call themselves geodetic, that is to say, globe surveyors. We can see how in their very methodology that they're measuring Earth flat and then calculating it to conform to an imaginary ball, and how the margins of error within their calculations and within their assumed measurements are so broad that they can use that error in order to create and believe that they live on a globe that doesn't exist. This is a situation we're in. The most esteemed institutions around the world, from governments to academic universities to technical universities, all the way on down through military, through commerce, pilots and boatsmen, every profession, people believe that they need a globe to do things and they really don't. You know, you can be watching TV, right? And you could be watching maybe a commercial for, I don't know, freaking butter or something. And they're going to slap a globe on the logo for a stick of butter. The globe seems to pop up in places where it doesn't make sense. And it's because there's this diluted infatuation with it. And most people are unaware of it. There's this cognitive bias with it. And the people believe that there's a globe because they believe everybody else believes that there's a globe and that somebody somewhere must have proven that it's a globe. And they've got crazy ass fucking stories to justify it. And when you get back to the root of what the globe is, the golden seed value for curvature, it goes back to a man named Eratosthenes, who probably didn't even exist. And the story that he has of the sticks and shadows and the wells was a thought experiment that was taught to children. We're stuck right now. It's the year 2026, and we still have no verifiable measurement of curvature to support this globe myth. And that's what's so frustrating. That's why we're here. We're here to tell people about it.
I see it now. So your point is like opening the eyes of people, let's say, or like to give enlightenment in their lives.
I wouldn't presume to say that way. I just want people to consider that they've had no experience directly with the globe, and no matter how hard they try, they won't be able to, and they'll find that nobody who even claims to have actually did either.
Mm. Yeah, I see that.
You know, I'm a theist, specifically a Christian, and I've been in debate circles with atheists for a long time. And if I can make this analogous to anything, it kind of feels like how the atheist feels being surrounded by a bunch of religious nuts. Being the flat earther and surrounded by a bunch of globe religious nuts. So you'll have to forgive us sometimes when we get impassioned about this, because it is quite an important topic. It's important for your very dignity at the very core, right? I don't want to be pissed on my back and told it's raining. Now, does that mean it's going to change how I live my life? You know, I still need to go to the store to get groceries. I still need to fill up my gas tank to drive places. I still have to work my job and do the same thing at my job day in and day out. But I tell you what, I'm able to think and process my world without the burden of carrying somebody else's imaginary myth through which to process all of my firsthand direct knowledge and sensory experiences through anymore. I can process the world as I see it and I experience it, and not suffer the dictates and mandates of somebody else.
Yeah, I see it, but coming back to the example of being pissed at your back and the shape of the earth, like I still don't think that the example of being pissed on your back and being told that it's a rain, it's quite equal as the shape of the earth, because nothing of your
It's a bit
changes.
crude.
Yeah,
I get that. I get that. It's a bit crude, right? I mean, I understand the sentiment where it's coming from. There, there are space agencies that have lied about their achievements. Now, I don't think they're necessarily lying about Earth and the nature of it for that purpose. I do think that they are lying about achievements for the sole reason of projecting national pride, power, prestige, technological progress, whether that's for the end game of making more money, increasing military and technology sales, or for concealing the development of doomsday weapons like nuclear missiles. Whatever their true motivations are, they are projecting power and capabilities through this and technological achievements that never happened, provably. So there's where the piss comes from.
Mm. Well, I've recently read the chat and Yaga Bruno, but still, like, I wouldn't like to philosophize the words, but like the way eventually it was like weakness is like neglecting your duty, like the one you have aforementioned, but still, like, let's be realistic here. Then it goes to what is your meaning of life and what's your duty in life. Is it like to guide others? Then, like, why would you guide others? Is it because you feel better, or is it because you think that you have to guide them, or is it because they are in need of guidance? And if they are in need of guidance, what makes you not being in need of guidance as well? Like, or is it the someone you
Point.
want to? Yeah. So you see, like, the thing of weakness makes no sense. So I guess it's more of a claim that neglecting this
No,
specific duty is
I
weakness.
think
Like that.
I think you can objectify this sense of weakness that Jedi was talking about. Um, we have a tendency to sometimes do things that are not in our own best interest, but we delude ourselves into thinking they are. So when it comes to the psychology of economics, human behavior, it used to be called praxeology before it was called economics, or catalactics. It's the psychology of human preference in a market. Now, the reason why we act is to dispel uneasiness, however that comes, but we have choices before us on how to do that, on how to act. A weaker choice is often associated with having a high time preference. A high time preference means you need something, want something now, and you'll do whatever it takes to get it now, immediately, to fulfill a sense of gratification now. There are biological reasons for this. But in many cases, it is more rewarding and beneficial to yourself, to those you love, and to those in the market if you have a low time preference, which means you defer gratification in order to save up and store for the future. And one of the reasons why a low time preference can be more beneficial is because it helps you mitigate risks that can also happen in the now. If you store up enough food for emergencies, you must have a low time preference in order to exercise that discipline. If you consume the food instead, you won't have any stores for those times that you might need it. So exercising that discipline requires inner strength. You can't be a weak person and exercise the discipline that's required for having a low time preference in order to store up food for the future, which would make you and your family and everyone else around you better off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's where Jedi's mind was coming from. In a sense, coming to the conclusion of flat Earth requires discipline. It requires you to be honest with yourself about how you first experienced the world. And it requires you to then be honest about how you see others interpreting and experiencing the world and coming to the conclusion that it's a globe. When you start to understand not just the psychology, but the very methods and processes that they go through in order to arrive to that conclusion, it becomes quite obvious and clear that not only is the Earth not a globe, but people are taking their everyday observations and interpreting a globe out of it when it doesn't exist. And you know how exactly they're doing it. And you know how they're trying to justify it with math. And what's maddening is people believe that they are justified in their interpretations of a globe due to mainly societal pressure. It's kind of what it comes down to. This is like a big Ash conformity test. The globe is. You've got a room full of participants, right? And the mark doesn't know that all the other participants are in on it. And what happens is a proctor who is coordinated ahead of time with the other participants will tell them to answer falsely a simple question and to do it on purpose in order to instill confusion on the mark. So they'll go down a list of people, ask them stupid questions, and they'll give stupid answers. And the mark is meanwhile wondering what the hell is going on. How come people around me are answering so confidently that they believe these stupid things to be true? And when the proctor gets to the mark and asks him the stupid question, will this person conform and give a stupid answer? Or will he have the discipline, the resolve, the mental grit and fortitude to give the right answer and to be honest with himself and give the socially unacceptable answer? So when it comes to the question of weakness, yeah, we're tired of dealing with weak men. We need strong men who will pass the Ash conformity test, who will stand up against a room that seems to be out of control and crazy, but conforming to common silliness, and break through the mold and declare, no, you guys are actually all wrong, and I know what's right. This is the truth.
Is it the wisdom of Master Yoda, or is it the wisdom of AI? Because I kind of feel like you were reading a text and not saying it. No, I mean, no offense, because like
No.
even I use AI, to some points,
Yeah,
but
I
let's be
don't. I
realistic.
don't. You'll have to just take my word for it. I'm sitting in a parking lot right now, and it's windy outside. I've got my phone in my hand. I'm waiting for my kids to be done with the gymnastics event, and it's crowded as shit in there, and I can't get in to see them. So just kind of waiting. Got another 10 minutes.
Oh, well, I see it now. Quite cool. Well, I gotta move. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Don't be
Adios.
stressing about everything and every people again. See ya.
Hasta lasagna.
Don't get a on ya.
That's a bizarre worldview. He listens to everything you said and he comes up with, was that AI?
Yeah.
Nothing about the content.
He was processing the content, though. I believe it. He seems to be very educated, and he does dwell on these issues a lot. And I think he prefers to dwell on these than the room topic of flat Earth. But I think it was worth tying it in. Now he I think prides himself on being able to ask thought-provoking questions and to get enlightened discussions going. But I'm not sure what his worldview is, but I suspect it's probably going to be closer to brain in a jar, postmodern relativism and solipsism than anything else.
Right.
I just kind of get that feeling. So, he wanted to ask a thought-provoking question back to Jedi is, well, what do you mean you're dealing with weak men who don't want to stand up for things? Like, what do you define as weakness? Earlier we had just talked about how this whole thing is a delusion, and it takes a lot of strength to pull yourself out of it. We didn't quite get into the social pressure until we came back to it at the end.
Yeah, that's true, though. That's very true.
Right, and it could have gone into places. I mean, so Jedi brought up the analogy of, they're pissing down your back and telling you it's raining anytime they show you basically a globe on TV or whatever the case is, when you're being inculcated with the globe all day on things that don't make any sense. Like you'll see a globe logo on a stick of butter for a commercial and be like, what the fuck? Why do you have to put a globe on that? I mean, it's almost like a sick, perverse obsession that people have that they're also not really consciously aware of at the same time. So it's just such an endemic part of our civilization and how we view ourselves is we are enlightened technologically and we are advanced civilization and we live on a globe. It's kind of part of our worldwide shared cultural identity.
Yeah, for sure.
So breaking free from that, I mean, really means rejecting all that it stands for. And people don't want to be put into that position because they don't want to be seen as a pariah by their friends and family and neighbors. There's an obvious risk issue there. We are herd-like people. We do know and recognize that we survive better when we come together and do things, whether it's participate in a market or otherwise. And if you've got a bad actor or a participant in your community that's just this oddball freak, the natural inclination is to peacefully disassociate, and ostracize. And ostracism is such a powerful, powerful way to deal with something you want to reject. I mean, they say that social ostracism psychologically inflicts more pain than physical pain ever could, than torture. And people inherently fear being socially ostracized as a consequence of rejecting what this world believes to be true. And so we're dealing with that psychology every time we're in here talking with people. And I think it's very deep. And whether or not the people we're talking to understand it and can articulate it this way is kind of irrelevant because they're responding as if they intuitively feel this way, and so they're recoiling. You know, we hear this all the time. They say, well, how could everybody be wrong? How could NASA be wrong? How could all the scientists be wrong? How could everybody else be wrong? And they turn it around and say, you flat earther must be the arrogant one. You must have this Dunning-Kruger complex. Who the hell are you to go against this entire mountain of belief? You know, and well, who am I? I'm just somebody who has the mental fortitude to call it like it is, to describe the world as I see it, and to describe to the world how they're misinterpreting it. Quite obviously so, objectively so. We can prove it.
Yep.
So what Jedi said about us needing to basically foster a culture of strength and to deride weakness around us, I think is absolutely on point. It needed to be said, and he was fully right in engaging this guy in that way and saying so.
It's
What am
far
I
away
looking
when it's
for?
above you and you can't stare at it because it burns your eyes. But when it's on the horizon, you can. Why?
Because when it is above my head, let's say, it is closer than when it is
That
in
would make
the
it worse,
horizon.
bro.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, I mean, when I see it above my head, it hurts. When I see it on the horizon, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that?
What do you mean? Why is that?
Why can you stare at it when it's on the horizon and it doesn't hurt your eyes like it does when it's right above you?
Because
Is it because
it's
I'm looking
closer.
through all the air? Is it because I'm
No,
looking
no,
through all the air?
No, the Earth doesn't have anything to do.
Yeah, it does, bro. You need
This-
to look into it. Your own size says it, that you're looking through the thickest, densest part of the atmosphere, causing the scattering of light, thus the redness of the sun at sunset.
But we're talking about different things. Like we're talking about why my eyes doesn't hurt when I see the sun when it's
So am
in
I.
the
Right.
horizons.
It's
Okay,
the same
so
reason why when you look out at the horizon, you can't see 1,000 miles because you're looking through air. You're not looking through a vacuum.
yeah, but it's the same sun, and it's different
Yeah,
distances.
there's air. The air is getting in the way. Gas molecules. Remember?
That's what I'm trying to understand. Like why the Earth has to do when it's closer than when it's farther. You know?
When the sun is
It's not to
directly
do with
over
it
your
being.
head.
You're
Sorry,
not supposed to think it's significantly closer or further in your paradigm of the globe. That little bit of difference that it makes is negligible. It wouldn't make a difference from your own side's point of view. You're not supposed to be arguing that. That'd be more like something that we're supposed to argue, that it gets closer and further away.
I
Because
mean,
it's not 93 million miles away.
I'm not arguing.
It's a known
I'm trying.
fact. It's a known fact, man, that when the sun is directly over your head, that the air is less dense because as you go up in altitude, that there's less air.
We agree that it is closer when it is right above my head than when it is in the horizon, right?
I
We
mean,
do
if that's
agree
what
with
you
that.
want to argue, we agree because that's what we all see. Yeah.
On the scale of 93 million miles, bro, what difference is that going to make?
It's 93 million. It's 3 miles farther, so it's 93 million 3 miles.
Oh, that's going to help. That's going to make a huge difference, right?
Well,
93 million and 3.
Even if it's that close,
In the globe,
I mean,
this is what you don't. This is what we're trying to tell you. In the globe model, the sun is 93 million miles away. Above your head versus on the horizon, it's 3 miles further away.
Okay, so but when
you think that matters?
We take the example, okay, but when we take the example of the table, it doesn't matter. But when we take the example of the sun, it does matter. That's what I'm trying to understand.
The air is thicker. The air is thicker.
But taking different objects of
do you have weather? Do you have a weather app? A weather app like on your phone?
I don't, but I can search
a weather.
Okay. But if you searched on Google right now and typed in whatever you live, like say you live in Tokyo, Tokyo,
I wish.
Japan visibility, it'll tell you how far you're going to see. Where does that number come from? Say it says 10 kilometers, visibility 10 kilometers. Why is that?
You tell me.
I did tell you. It's because the air.
Because of
has
the
a
air,
thickness.
or air thickness.
You're
Okay.
looking
Yeah.
through the thickest part of the air if you're looking horizontally.
So it
There's
depends
less
where I
air
am.
looking up. Yeah, there's less air looking up. There's more air looking sideways.
So when I'm trying to see further, there's like more air particles. So
Yes.
I'm
Light comes to you, brother. And there's less water particles too on top of it.
uh-huh.
Because
So
as you go up
what
higher and higher altitude, it's drier, right? There's less humidity.
because the sun is closer.
Doesn't matter what the
So
reason is. It only matters whether it is or not. So yes,
but I
there's less
think
humidity. The reason is irrelevant, dude. We only care about how much is there. We don't care about why. We only care about whether
but
it is or isn't.
that's the thing. That's why I don't get why in some topics it doesn't matter and in some does. Like
Okay.
why do we
Because right
take
now we're talking
like
about something very.
partial things?
You're being a sophist, and I'm starting to get annoyed. There's
No,
a
he
difference
doesn't get
between the
any of
question
the
of whether
topics.
something. Listen, there's a difference between whether the question of whether something exists or does not exist and why it exists. Those are all
He,
different questions, right? We want to know
Well,
what does it exist or not.
well, it was you that
Like I
really
can say,
got
hey, do you have
into
a
this.
sister? Do you have a sister? Do you have a brother?
I do.
Okay. Do I need to know why they're here to know if they're here or not?
I don't believe
Whether they
why.
exist or not. No,
No,
I don't
but
need
that's
to
the
ask you.
interesting part.
Well, when did your parents have sex? Like, I don't need to ask you that. Either you have
They
a
do.
sister or you don't. It doesn't matter how she got here.
Okay.
Okay, like
and
you're
doesn't matter
not this
why.
dumb, bro. Okay,
But that's my point. Like in
you don't have a
previous
point.
chat. Yeah, in previous chat
No,
that we
it's not
had
that he
before.
just. It's not that you don't have a point. You don't even have comprehended any of the points that people have been given to you. So you still have to be able to even steal one of the points that have been brought forward to you. You don't
The
get
thing is,
any of the points, not one.
I do get the point individually, but I don't connect them between them, you know? Like we talked about God, we talked about how it was designed. Now we are talking that the sun does this, does that, the light, the tables. I cannot connect the meaning and prove with those all things together. That's what I'm trying to say. And if I may add, I know and I am thankful for that from you that there is a language barrier and you're being very patient. So I do thank you for that. Um, if you understand what I'm saying, is that
I do. I understand.
all the points that we talked in this, I think it is an hour. Uh, they don't connect between them. All the topics that we talked before, you know. I'm trying to believe. I'm trying
Well,
to
who's
connect
fault
You
is
them
know
that?
all.
why? Listen, guys, 1 second. You know why? Because when the guys were trying to tell you about level, about water, about long distances, you were going to the moon, to the sun, to the sky, and those celestial things are not the ground that we can operate, check, verify across, the one that we can test and measure, and people have been trying to describe for you and trying to explain to you how to get it. Your mind is going outside of that, away from the thing in question. That's why you
Here's
don't
what
get
I
it.
don't, Jonesy. Here's what I don't understand. How are you telling us they don't connect and they don't make sense when you brought up the sun?
I think
We didn't bring it up. You brought it up. If it doesn't make sense, it's because it's your topic.
No, I'm thinking that it is available example.
Who brought it? Who talked about the sun? Us or you? Who brought it up?
The guy that was talking.
So he said the sun proves the flat Earth. Is that what he said?
No, he had a question about the light and the sunset.
I'll tell you how it got brought up in Indio. He was asking why we can't see the Eiffel Tower from New York, and I explained to him the thickness of the air, and he didn't understand what that meant. He thought that we could just see forever because we can see the moon and the sun. And I said, yeah, so how come we can see the sun on the horizon? We can look at it and it doesn't hurt our eyes, but when it's directly over our head, it'll blind you. And then that's how we got into this whole conversation. But he did.
Okay, I get it.
You did bring it up first. You just don't remember bringing it up.
Okay. Can things be too small to see?
Let's say it does.
Okay, let's just look. We're gonna start over. We're gonna can objects like the Eiffel Tower be so far away it's too small to see? Now let's say we took the Eiffel Tower and we put it on the moon. Would you be able to see it on the moon?
With bare eyes? No.
There's your answer. There's your answer, dude. There's no way you're going to see a 500-foot tall building from 5,000 miles away. It's too small to see. Never mind the air, even if you were in a vacuum.
But it's like pretty
no
small.
but.
I mean, there is. I mean, if we are talking about a thing that it is,
I can promise you. I'm just going to say this real quick, and I'll back out. I can promise you that if we put the Eiffel Tower on the moon, you wouldn't be able to see it either, even with the world's most powerful telescope. If they say the moon is the size that it is, because they say that the moon is 238,000 miles away. So I don't think you'd be able to see a 500-foot tall object 238,000 miles away.
So now I have a question about that. Where I'm from, depends the day, or actually the night. The moon.
Here we go.
It's
sun, moon. This is flat Earth, dude. This isn't flat moon or flat sun. If it doesn't make sense, I just want you to remember you brought this up.
Yeah. I'm talking about the moon, like we were talking about the Eiffel Tower in the moon. I'm like following the line. The moon in the night, where I'm from.
You're following the line the wrong way.
I'm trying to understand the way I can.
The line that is being drawn for you, that the world that you operate in is a horizontal line, and you're trying to go away from that. If you don't comprehend the ground that you operate across, you're not gonna get anything about the moon or the celestials or the luminaries. You first have to come back to your senses, back to the ground, and figure that out first. And maybe you can entertain the other things. But you still in page 1. You haven't finished the test for page 1. You don't have the right answers. You don't have all the information to complete the comprehensive assignment that you can draw a logical conclusion about the whole thing. And you're asking about unknown wonders of nature, like the moon and the sun. You're not gonna get that. So just chill.
Wouldn't be the sun and the moon and the stars a good measurement from where we are? Like we take different things.
The idea of the globe. The movement of the luminaries as they move in cycles that repeat like clockwork. It will definitely easily show you that the globe idea is an impossibility.
So it is a good measurement to tell if it is flat or not.
No.
Right? It's what you're saying right now.
Not.
It is not. Why?
No. Because no matter what you do, you're making what's called an inductive argument. You can't look at something that is not the object to determine the object. Like if I wanted to know how tall you were, I wouldn't go measure Gemsy. I'd measure you. What you want to do is you want to look at something that's not the Earth to figure out what the Earth is, and that's not possible.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if I say I am, which
You're.
I am,
What's the thing? You're going
190.
to try to convince me the impossible is
Let's
possible? No,
no
brother.
no
Are you
no no
going to try
no
to convince
no
me the
no.
impossible is possible? That's what you're going to try to convince me of.
Let me try. So if I am, yeah. I mean, let's talk it.
It's
If
logically not possible, dude. Can
if I
I
am
tell your
190,
height by measuring Gemsy?
if I am
Tell me
190,
how I can
and I
measure. No, brother. We're not
yeah
moving
yeah
on. This
hey
is
hey
bullshit.
hey
No,
hey, let me
stop.
talk. Let me talk.
Can I measure? Can I figure out how tall you are by
Yes
measuring Gemsy, the guy that was talking to you? Can I measure his
yes
height? How?
yes. If you
He just
put
said yeah. You just said
one
yes.
next to, yes I do. If you put one
No,
next
we're
to
not going to
another,
use you.
and
No, just measuring Gemsy. That's it. Just Gemsy, not you.
that's what I'm saying. If we
We have to
get
measure you,
both,
right, to know how tall you are?
no. But let me finish. If you put how's it's
You're a
his
bullshit
name?
artist, dude.
MC. But
No,
why
you're a
do you get
bullshit
angry,
artist. You know
man?
you're trolling, dude.
I'm not
Hey,
trolling. I'm
He's
saying
being
if
You can't be this
delusional.
hey,
He's
stupid,
being
hippie
so
must
you
also
have
delusional.
to
be a
be
Puerto
trolling.
Rican. Hippie must also
if
be a
I
Puerto
say
Rican, dude.
I am not. If you say
No, you're
your
comparing yourself to
fridge,
Gemsy, man.
No, just keep it. No, let him to finish. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say, and fucking put your
okay,
foot right in your mouth.
okay.
Because you're
If
gonna.
I
There's
say my
nothing you can
fridge,
say that's gonna fix this, dude.
okay. If I say my fridge, it is 1 meter tall,
Uh
right?
huh.
Okay, and I say I am 1 meter 90, and we put both together, you can tell if I am saying the truth or not. I That's reasonable, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but we measured you, dude. We
no,
measured you. We used the fridge to measure you.
you are
Yeah, that's right,
measuring the
dude. We
fridge.
used the
Okay,
refrigerator. Listen, we used the refrigerator as the unit of measure to measure you. Okay? You're
exactly,
talking about not
exactly.
looking at you. Stop talking. You're talking about.
You can
You're
interrupt
talking
me, but
about
I can
not
interrupt
measuring.
you.
You got to over.
That's
No, you're over
the
talking me because you know you sound stupid. So you're
okay.
talking about not measuring you at all, and just measuring the sun and the moon.
No. I'm saying that if you take an object and you measure that, you can have at least an idea of the object that it is next to it. That's
Yeah,
all I'm
but
saying.
you would be seeing you like if I was measuring you next to your refrigerator, I would
Yeah,
be the point of view looking at you
yeah.
in the refrigerator. I can't jump away from Earth and look at the Earth and the moon side by side. That's how retarded you sound.
Well, that's another topic. If
Let's say you see the moon, right? You can see the earth, you can see the ocean. You're on the beach, right? You can see the earth, you can see the ocean, and you can see the moon,
yeah,
right? They're right next
yeah,
to each other in your vision. How big's the moon?
yeah.
How big's the moon?
I couldn't tell.
Why not? They're right next to each other.
Yes, but as this other guy
This
said,
is what
I
you
am
said.
in
You
the
said if
earth.
they're right next to each other.
No, but he had a good point, not you. That
Yeah, that's right. Change it, dude. Yeah. You
no,
sound
I'm
dumb,
giving.
bro.
I'm. But why do you get aggressive, man? I'm saying
Because,
he
dude,
was right,
listen,
not you.
because
He was
you
right.
stopped being honest like 20 minutes ago. And you stopped engaging us honestly 20 minutes ago. And
Hmm.
I'm not happy about it because you were being honest, but you stopped. Okay?
No,
And now you're just
you.
trolling.
You got
You don't
angry,
believe what
and
you're
I think.
saying, dude.
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to get from my perspective of ground Earth how you
That's not your
flat
perspective,
Earth.
dude, no. Brother, you've
Well,
never had
it
the
was
perspective of a round earth.
adoctrinated. It was
Okay, let me ask you.
adoctrinated from me that it is ground Earth. I mean, it is my
What?
beliefs.
Yeah,
Watch this
it's your
Sadly,
video. Watch
belief, but
this video.
it's your hold on, it's your belief, but you've never
yes,
actually
it
had.
is.
Okay, will you let me finish? You've never actually had that perspective in reality, right? If I said from memory, what do you remember the Earth? When do you remember the Earth looking like a round Earth? You can't tell me from your memory, can you? You don't remember that.
Remembering what? That it was round?
Remembering when you saw with your eyes the Earth being round.
No, I don't.
Okay, neither do I. I don't remember that, and nobody in this chat remembers that ever happening. Okay, nobody you
Okay.
know and nobody they know remembers that. Okay, so when you say
I
from
agree.
my perspective, it's not actually a perspective you had in real life. It's what you imagine. It's your imagined
You're
perspective.
Hey, Indio,
And that's
watch
why
this.
we're
right.
trying to
I think
listen.
I think that the word that imagine, it isn't the word. I think that it,
Hippie.
as you said, it is indoctrinated and taught like when we were a
Yeah, we got
kid.
taught the same thing. Yeah, I got
Okay,
taught the
Yeah.
but
same
it
thing.
is the word isn't imagine.
Hippie.
Yeah,
If the
yeah.
surface of the Earth is not curving into a ball, then the surface of the Earth must be what?
That's an assumption that it is kind of,
It's a
I
if.
know.
It's a
If
hypothetical.
yeah, but why there's only two options? Why it isn't square, for example?
It could
What's
be
the third
square, but
option?
that would be flat, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's the
so
third option? If it's not curved, so you
we're
have
going to
two options.
something.
It's either curved or it's flat. And then once you define that it's curved, then you have two options from there. It's either
Okay,
convex or concave. You see how that works?
no, I'm talking about the shape as in square or
We don't
circular.
know what the shape is. We don't know what the shape is. It could be any shape. It
Oh,
could be an
okay,
octagon. For all we know, the
okay.
UFC got it right, and we live in an octagon. That's why we're always fighting each other.
Is that
Let's
right?
get ready to rumble.
That's
10
that's
rounds
actually
of
that's actually a something true. Like it's an octagonal or
no. What he's
it's a
trying to
joke.
tell you is if the water, right? The water, it either curves into a ball, curves either way, or it's straight, right? So it's one or the other, and we can
So if it's
figure out.
straight, yeah. So
Well,
if it is straight, does it fall?
fall to where?
Hippie,
You
look
guys
in the
asked this
side chat
question.
for me
Fall
real
to
quick.
where? Where are you going to fall to?
I mean
Hippie,
the
look in the
water.
side chat. Look in the side
Yeah,
chat.
where would the
Hippie.
water? Where would the water fall to? First of all, it wouldn't fall because there'd be a vacuum, right? And water evaporates in a vacuum, so that isn't going to happen. So fall to where? See, this is more like imagination. See, the
No, I
way
mean, okay.
when you think
Yeah.
about the Earth, you
Hippie.
have to rely completely on imagination. We're trying to
Yeah.
get you to think about what you actually experience in your life. Okay, not what you imagine the Earth to be, but what you actually see it in real life to be. Okay.
Hippie.
So
Which
have
look in
you?
the side chat. Look in the side chat. I just tagged you.
Yeah.
Which of these shapes are flat?
I'm trying not to look to the chat because Platter is going with all the jokes, and
Well, look,
I
okay,
can get the serious stuff, you know.
just look at the picture I posted. That's all I'm asking. Look at the picture I
Okay.
posted, the image I posted. Which of those
Yeah.
shapes are flat?
Let me say, I like you, Platter. I like the jokes. I'm not that sensitive. Um, I'm seeing the shapes. Yeah,
Yeah, which one's flat and which one's not flat?
could all be flat.
Okay, cool. So flat is not exclusive to like one shape, right? Flat is just a feature of the surface, right?
Yeah, I know. I thought that you like went farther and you knew the shape. Like it was something like you
No,
already
we don't
achieved.
know the shape. We just know it's
Okay,
not a ball because in order for it to be a ball, it would have to curve.
so what's the next, let's say, step to know what the shape is?
It's a good question, man. You'd have to go to the extent of the entire universe to figure that out.
So let's say, how do I make this question? So we didn't went to the moon.
Hell no. Why would you
No.
think we did?
That's a trending question. I'm asking really seriously. Like if we did
Nobody
get
went.
to the
Nobody's
moon,
been. Listen, brother. It's worse than that. Nobody's been to outer space.
so it was all a lie.
You got yes. It's made up. It's a fairy tale.
It was created
Well,
to exert
Uh,
dominance over the rest of the world.
Now there's NASA documents from when NASA was created saying that they wanted to create the impression that the United States was so technologically advanced no one would oppose us. And that's why they created NASA.
so what's the point
In their
about
own
that? I
words,
mean,
it says that. It isn't what I say, it's in their own words. They
yeah,
said that.
no, I believe, I think I read it. I don't want to say I did because I don't remember. But the thing
Well,
is,
there's
I don't
declassified
understand why.
documents.
What's the point about that? That's what I don't get it. Like, why
I just
would they
told
do
you
that?
why. The reason they said they did it was to create the idea among foreign people that the United States was very technologically advanced, and if they tried to make war with us, we had such great technology that they would be destroyed.
So it's like a war power thing, let's say.
Okay, think about it like this. Say you could go out and buy, you know how there's people they can inject in their they can get implants, right? Like,
Yeah,
and make it look like they got big ass arms and they're jacked, but they couldn't freaking curl 10 pounds. So
yeah,
that's what we did, right? We basically put on a fake muscle suit and walk around
yeah.
like we're huge when we're freaking skinny.
So you
Okay?
try
So
to appear as someone like very strong, very powerful,
yes,
to other
That's the art
countries.
of war. That's the art of
yes.
war. When you're weak, appear strong.
So Russia, let's say, and China, and all the other, like the space war or space race.
There
I don't
wasn't
know
one.
how.
There was no
There
space
wasn't
race.
one.
Well, according to the Russians, the Soviets said that the United States made up the space race, that it only existed in Western media.
Well, I like what Platter said. Right now, I'm reading the chat,
Well, I mean, shouldn't
but
it? Listen, doesn't there need to be two people in a race? And if the other person says we're not racing, and the other person's running around the track by themselves, is that a race?
yeah, no, but
Well,
yeah, no, but
I'm just telling you what they said. They also say that the moon landing's fake, but
Yeah,
nobody
and if you
believes
want to
them
get
because they're the lying Russians, right? They're the
the
commies.
thing
Whatever
is,
they say is a lie.
if you want to get into
us,
why they would lie, like, okay, so let me explain this to you, okay? There's a lot of
but can I?
sub reasons for why people lie. Oh, I lied because I didn't want you to get hurt. I lied because
Yeah,
I wanted to be better than you. I lied because of this. I lied because of that. But the real reason why people lie, there's only one reason. And then every reason under that is a sub reason. The reason why people lie is to control how other people think. That's
okay.
the
So
only reason why people lie.
have you ever thought that, as Platter said right now in the chat, this isn't like another way to divide in people, like being flat Earth or ground Earth,
No,
isn't like
it's
another way.
no. You're the only one divided from us.
But that's the point. Like, why are we divided? Like, we are in the same
Why,
Earth.
why are you defending the governments of the world?
No, no, no. I'm taking the point that Platter said, that it is a way to divide in people. The thing that the space race and what NASA said, and like, why are we arguing if the Earth is flat and or the
I don't
Earth is
know.
ground? That's
Why
the
are you
point.
defending an
That's
idea you don't? Well, dude, you came in here, right? And you came
yeah.
and you
Trying to
started
understand.
defend. Hold on. You started defending an idea that isn't yours, and you don't really understand it very much. I mean, you understand it a little. We all do because we all went to school, but most people don't understand the globe and all the stuff that goes along with it. But they'll defend it to their dying breath. Why? Why would they defend it? Like,
They
imagine
call us
somebody else,
stupid.
like down the street, had a good idea, right? Are you gonna run
Yeah.
around and yell at people because their idea and take it up like it's yours? That's what people do. We've been doing this for nearly a decade, and we watch people every day, dozens of times a day, come in here and get angry, get mad, yell at us, swear at us. Someone last night saying we should kill ourselves, drink bleach, all this stuff because we don't think the earth is a globe. Now, you tell me why they do that, because I haven't figured it out, other than there must be an occult or something.
Well, I agree with you, like 100%, and that's why it hurts me when some people are trying to be open-minded, like me or the other girl that entered here and try to be. But you have to understand that we were taught that the Earth is ground all our lives, and it's like
So
I
were
don't
we.
know.
So were we.
Yeah, but if they
So
taught you,
were
let's say they
you.
taught you, brother, let's say they taught you frickin' Greenland was covered in ice and then you found out it was a desert, would you be upset?
I'm trying to finish the other idea. What I'm
Well,
trying to
but
say
I'm
is
saying
that
is people
you.
get upset about it. You're missing the point, is that people are getting upset. They learned something in school. They're getting told what they learned in school is wrong, and they're getting emotionally upset about it.
But
That's not normal.
being you upset also doesn't like give us give us, when I say us, is like ground earth, uh the point. Like, why are you upset about it also? Like, if you are
We're not
right,
upset.
why
We're not
would.
upset,
But
hippie. Hold on. Now, you
Don't
yeah,
mentioned that girl earlier. Some guy came in and said, because you're a girl, you don't understand shit. That guy was
yeah, that's.
likely a globe. Hold on. That guy was likely a globe earther also, like you. He was just coming in here to talk shit because that's what globe earthers do with their low IQ personalities. Now, you think a little bit more sensibly because we did that. Remember, we did you missed it, Indio. We calculated the circumference of his kitchen by
Yeah,
measuring two angles of the of soda cans on his floor. It was
yeah, we
fantastic.
did.
His kitchen is
awesome, man.
24 meters in circumference.
Yeah, and the Little Prince planet, freaking awesome.
Now I have a fucking huge
But
kitchen, man.
but
Yeah, that was awesome.
we don't go around shitting on people all day. That's not our nature. We actually, believe it or not, flat earthers have a genuine appreciation for the life around them. So when someone comes in and says, because you're a girl, you're a piece of shit, or whatever he said, that's not us. That's probably somebody that's on your side who thinks the earth is a ball and is a godless heathen and doesn't know how he's going to get live life once his mom and dad die. Like,
Well,
it's just a thing, man. That's not
now
us.
now
That's your side.
if I'm being honest, like, since I don't believe in God and I feel kind of excluded just by that, I think that all the people that doesn't believe in God has to find a way to actually believe what you're saying without proving that there is a God. You know what
It's
I'm
not about
trying to.
belief. It's not about belief.
This is different
All
than
right.
God. Okay, God. The question of God is a metaphysical, supernatural question, and the question of what the Earth is a question about the natural world. Right? Those are two different things. You can't
So it
prove the
can be
existence or
proven.
non-existence of God with the natural world, and you
Okay,
can't like the thing. People that don't believe in God, I go, okay. I'll say to you this:
yeah,
what would prove to you God exists?
I I do not believe
What?
so.
Well, okay, I know you don't believe, but what would prove to you that God exists? What evidence? What type? You don't even have to tell me exactly what the evidence would be. What type of evidence? Would it be something from a scientist in a test tube? Would it be a freaking reading on an instrument? Like, what would it be that would prove God exists to you? And if you ask yourself this question, you'll find out that there's no evidence that would prove God exists to you that you'll accept because you don't want God to exist. This is a matter of desire. It's not a matter of whether it's true or not. And this is what we tend to find out with people. But I don't want to make this topic about atheism versus theism.
Yeah, no,
The
no,
thing
me
is,
neither. Me neither. I'm sorry that
so
I brought it
the
up,
point is
but
that they say this is how you figure out what in science. They say you do this to figure out what the natural world is. Okay, let's go do this. They say the Earth is a globe. Let's go check. And we in here, me personally, even as recently as last week, I go to the beach, I make measurements, I go check, and every time I go, it turns out that where they say the Earth is a globe and that the measurements do not match that and do not check out. Now, I'm supposed to ignore all that, what I've done personally in real life, and watch TV and go listen to some guy that says, oh, I went to the moon in a rocket ship and I dropped stuff and they didn't fall. And I'm supposed to believe the words of some idiot on TV when I've gone out and actually checked, right? What am I supposed to believe, dude? Me or the TV set?
Yeah.
Right? We're not trying to convince you the Earth is flat. A lot of people come in here, they think we're trying to convince them the Earth is flat. No, we are here to give you information that you did not have otherwise, right?
Yeah,
Such as
that's yeah.
that's it. You can decide for yourself what you want to do with that information. You can fact check us and say those flat earthers. I'm checking. We'll see what they said is true, and go on the internet and look and see what we said is true. You'll find out that everything we say is 100% factually accurate. Now, you might disagree with the conclusions about the facts, but that's a different thing, because there's always interpretation. There's always interpretation of fact.
Yeah.
There's always interpretation, no matter what. You have data, and it has to be interpreted by a human being. So, but the thing is, there's certain things about the globe that they teach us in school that they only tell you the things that work, right? They never tell you. It's like selling a used car. They tell you the good things about the car, but they don't tell you the bad things about the car. Now, in certain respects, the globe model, I guess, if there is a model, it works in a certain. There's a certain parts of the globe model that work, but there's other parts that don't work, right? So, but they don't tell us the parts that don't work. We in here, we know about the parts that don't work, and in the interest of full disclosure, we think that everybody should know, like, yeah, this globe idea isn't as solid as people think when you actually investigate it. And I say, and I'm going to say it again, is the only way to know for sure is to test it yourself. You're not going to learn it from, you'll learn things from us, but you should check what we say. You shouldn't just listen to us and say, I don't believe NASA anymore. I'm going to believe the Flat Earth channel. No, don't do that. Go out, test it yourself. I'm not worried about you testing it yourself. I encourage it. Go test it yourself. You'll find out the Earth is not a globe at all.
Yeah, Indio, he's already said that he's seen boats that he believes to be 20 kilometers away disappearing at a distance, right? But aside from that, hippie.
And you can check. Hold on, just to give him. I want to give him a resource. Just to you can actually check their distance. There's a website called marinetraffic.com. It'll give you the positions of boats. Huh?
I'm searching it right now.
Marine traffic. TRAFFIC.com.
Yeah.
It's got boats all over the world. When you click on the boat, it'll give you its coordinate, right? Its latitude and longitude coordinate, right?
Yeah.
And then you can figure out, there's all sorts of what's called Earth curve calculators. You can get your coordinate where you're viewing it from, its coordinate where it is. You can ask one of the AIs, say, how far away is this latitude from the longitude from this latitude, longitude? It'll do the calculation, and then you can see, hey, should I see this boat based upon the Earth curve calculator? So one I did was capture the boat on the horizon. It was 10 miles away. Well, the horizon should be 4 miles away. So that's a big problem. The horizon's 2 times farther than what it's supposed to be, right? And I've got all sorts of these. I've seen a boat 30 miles away. I've seen in case the conversion of that's like 50 kilometers. I watched a boat sail from.
Yeah.
Well, 50, think about that. 50 kilometers away. I saw a ship that was sailed away from me. So it started in Boston Harbor and sailed out like directly away, and I could still see it at 50 kilometers away.
So at what point does the air particles start to
It depends on that day.
It depends on the day.
It depends on the pressure, the humidity, how much the wind, how much particles are in the air. The best day to do the best condition to do observations are you want high pressure and low humidity. So in Antarctica, right, they say in the Southern Ocean, there's a guide that the U.S. Geospatial Agency puts out. It's like a guide on how to sail in the Southern Ocean. Now, the Southern Ocean is the ocean that's, Chile and freaking South Africa, all that, and below Australia. Now, the
Let's say
air there,
like
the air
the
there is
Atlantic
very
Ocean.
dry. Yeah, the air there is very dry. And in their sailing guide, it says it is not uncommon to see mountains 300 miles away. Okay? Now, if you do the calculation for a globe Earth of seeing 300 miles from a ship, you shouldn't see any mountain that is shorter than 9 miles, 9.75 miles tall. Well, Mount Everest is 5.25 miles tall. So you should only see mountains 2 times the height of Everest. But they say it's not
insane.
uncommon. Yeah, well, yeah. And the difference in between observing there and everywhere else is that the humidity is very low. It's like 20% relative humidity, which is super low, which is dry, about as dry as like a lab where they make microchips, right? A chip lab where they wear the suits and all that shit. It's a complete controlled environment. They take out all the particles out of the air. The Southern Ocean is like that, so you can see super far. That determines how far you can see is the amount of particulates that are in the air. And temperature and wind, and there's other smaller factors, but it's mainly the particles.
I speak Spanish. Maybe this guy speaks Spanish. I can translate to him, and actually he can understand the questions.
Now, if someone's gonna do that translation, it's gonna be me.
That's the problem, hippie. I speak Spanish, like you.
¿Hablas español?
Sí, yo hablo
Hablo
español
español
y sé el tema. But anyways, speak English, guys. That's it.
Mira,
This is an
mira,
English
hippie, te lo voy a
server.
decir.
Yeah, I think the rules here are that you're supposed to speak English.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the question again? I mean, how do you know what you see outside, the sky? It is what they taught you it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's the proof you have?
TV.
You don't even have to have proof. How about some evidence? Let's start there, and we'll deal with the evidence, and then determine whether that evidence proves it.
Well,
feelings, nothing more than feeling.
But you don't neither, right?
Don't neither what?
I don't fucking claim I know the extent of the universe. That's a bold fucking claim. Think you know what the universe is.
But you do?
Nope.
Nobody does.
That's
Nobody,
the thing,
not me,
right?
not you, not the scientist, nobody.
We just claim the Earth is flat. That's it, Bob.
Yeah, the surface that we live on is measurably, observably, and testably flat.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to get, like...
we can prove that. And do you know why? Because we're on the Earth, and we can test the Earth because we're standing on it. Things about the sun, stars, moon, out there, we can't prove anything about it. We can make up stories, the same as they did in the past, the same as they do now, but we'll never be able to actually prove it because we can't go there, right? So that's it. You have to accept there's some things that can be proven, and there's some things that can't be proven, and some things that are beliefs, and some things which are knowledge. We know the Earth is flat because we can prove it's flat by measuring it. We can't prove anything about the sun, stars, moon, or anything like that, and neither can anybody else.
I do believe that we can, like, use the moon to measure some things in the Earth. For example, let's say...
would you make a bridge that way? Hold on, would you build a bridge by using the moon?
But that's bold too.
Well, you said we can measure the Earth with the moon, dude. Can we build a bridge using the moon?
No, I'd said that we can use
can't
the
measure
moon.
the Earth.
No, I said that I mean, Don't say
But
things
if
that
you're,
I didn't. I'm saying that
I'm just
we
saying.
can get. Okay, let me finish. I said
Sorry.
that the moon, we can get the moon to measure things,
Like what?
not all the things. For example, the tides and the
No, you
gravity
don't.
and all. We
You're
don't.
measuring tides. You're not measuring the moon.
Yeah. No. We are using the moon
No, you're not.
to. How come?
How are you measuring the moon? How are you using the moon to measure a tide?
Because of gravity and the interaction with the
That's
Earth.
not true,
It's
dude.
Is this
fucking,
quantum
it's like
physics lecture or what?
fucking pull
Well,
string dolls, man.
I mean, what we were taught it is that the moon and the interaction with the gravity of
That's what
Earth
you're taught. But
creates
what are you
Okay,
measuring, though?
that's awesome. Awesome. What evidence did they give you that that's true?
math.
Nothing. No, they gave you math.
They didn't give you math either, mate.
They didn't give you
I mean,
anything.
they
They showed you
prove
a
it.
diagram.
They prove
Astronaut.
it by
Astronaut.
math. I can't
They showed him an
replicate.
astronaut.
They gave you a cartoon, bro. They gave you a cartoon and said this proves tides.
Did you
So
know
we
that
can.
tides are not actually all over the world? They're only in some places, in some parts of the world. Actually, most of the oceans of the world do not experience measurable tides.
As the moon
Nah,
is
that's
in
wrong.
different
That's wrong.
parts of
That is
the.
true. Go look it up. It's called
Yeah, it is.
it's called tidal nodes or anthropomorphic points.
Yeah, a lot of the Mediterranean doesn't have tides.
Great Lakes don't have tides. Like almost the entirety of the oceans. If you type in tidal nodes and go on Google Images, you'll get a map, and that map will show where the tides are immeasurable, meaning there's no tides at all. It's most of the ocean, not even some of it. It's most of it. I'll just post it in the chat. I mean, you don't have to believe me. See, remember I was telling you earlier about we're going to give you information you did not previously had? This is it.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Most people
I'm
think
actually
tides are
saving
all
the
over the
things.
world. Well, I'm just saying is that most people, what we're taught in school, all over the world has tides, and those tides are determined by the moon. That's not true.
Yeah.
There's a correlation. There's a correlation between tide height and where the moon is, but it's just a correlation. There's also 20 other when they calculate what the tide's going to be, which are often wrong, but when they do the calculation for their model, there's actually 20 variables, not just the moon and not just the sun. There's 20 other variables.
But you say
Or
yourself
18
that they
other
are
variables.
wrong.
Well,
The
sometimes they're
moon
wrong.
it's
So,
right.
like a few years ago in Venice, right?
Yeah.
In Venice, there was what they called a freak tide. So they didn't predict it, but Venice was buried under freaking 40 feet of water. Venice, Italy. And then 5 years before that, they had another freak tide where all the water went away and all their gondolas, instead of being in the water, they were at the freaking bottom of their little canals. Right? They didn't predict any of that. So that's the point, is that they can make predictions which are accurate a lot of the time, but they're not accurate all of the time.
But does that make it false?
No,
Or
it
just
means
not exactly
they
right?
don't know.
Your claim
'Cause-
was you can measure tides with the moon, so that you can throw that out now, right?
How's that? I'm sorry?
So your first claim, your claim that you brought up, you said you can measure. You actually said you can measure the moon with some things on Earth, but I don't think you meant that. Is it? You were talking about tides. You said you can measure the tides with the moon. Yeah.
Not measure, but justify it. Yeah, maybe it was a mis.
Yeah. So it's incorrect, right? What you said.
And then there's a difference between correlation and causation, right? There's a difference between saying the moon causes the tides and that the moon correlates with the tides. So a correlation means it's just two things that happen at the same time. They could have the same cause in and of themselves, right? So the thing that causes the moon to be in a place and the thing that causes the tides to be a certain way, make both of those things make the moon and the tides do something. So they both have a common cause. And if you don't pay attention, you might say, "Hey, the moon causes the tides," but like, does a rooster cause the sun to rise?
Yes.
Yeah. So you ever heard that,
Yeah,
right? Like the sun comes up right after a rooster crows, right? So it must be the rooster making the sun come up. He causes
yeah,
the sun to
no.
come up.
I mean, what I do believe, and this
maybe the
is, yeah,
tides. Maybe the tides cause the moon, right?
Maybe
no,
the
what I
dead
do
tides
believe,
cause the moon. Yeah, there we go. I like that one.
what I do believe, it is that it is, as you said, correlation. It does have something to do with the tides. I mean, we
Yeah,
cannot ignore the fact that it actually does have something to do with it, and maybe it isn't the only reason it happens. The tides, but it does have something to do, right?
yeah,
I'm not sure
they're
about that.
related in some way, but if you look closer, so I'll give you an example. So in England, right? England's a small island, right?
Mm.
So they have the tide times all around the island. And right, you would think that England, there's one time for the tides across the whole island, right? Because the moon is pulling up the water, right? Pulling the water of the earth toward it, right? And so like it should be like 5 o'clock. It's high tide in England everywhere, but it's not. One part of England, one part of England will experience the high tide 11 hours after some other part, right? So there's a number of factors which tell you when the tides are. All you can say is that at any particular location, right, when the moon is, I would, because it's a cycle, right? So there's a lunar cycle in which the tide is higher. So we know that, like, for any particular location, that cycle, that when the moon is in that position, the tides will be higher at that time. But it won't be the same time as, say, on one side of England and the other side of England, like the north or the south or the west, right? It'll be different times they have tides, but we know that, like, when they actually have their tide, it'll be higher than their normal tide at that place, right? So we don't know
I'm following.
everything.
I'm
Yeah,
following.
I'm
I'm
just
following.
saying is that, like, some of these things are a little like natural phenomena can be pretty complicated because there's a lot of stuff going on. But the point is like the sun, moon, stars. Like, do you think anybody's ever going to really know what the sun is or what it's doing? Think someone's going to go to the sun and take a scoop of it? Go, oh, the sun's made of hydrogen. Here's a scoop of it. Right?
Well, I
We can
mean,
never know. We can never actually get a hold of it. Or the stars, right? We can't go to the stars and, like, yeah, the stars are just like the sun, right? I mean, someone came up with the idea that the sun and the stars are the same thing. But,
we
like,
we do know something, like, and based on that facts that we do know, like, for example, the hot or the summer or whatever, it is caused because of the sun. Maybe, and I give you this right, we take assumptions of that
Sun's
facts.
elevation angle in the sky. That's the only difference.
Yeah, whatever. But the thing is, there are
It's not whatever.
certainties.
That's what causes summer and winter.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is that there are certainties that maybe,
Yeah,
how
the sun
do
gives
they
heat.
say?
yeah,
That's
we
the
have
certainty.
listen, we have no problem with saying, hey, this is what we think, this is what our idea is, and we believe it's this. But they don't say that. They tell us that it's an absolute 100% fact that the sun is a nuclear fusion generator, right? And it's just like the stars, and the stars are trillions of light years away. They are trillions of miles away. They just tell us that. They don't say, this is our best guess. This is what we believe. This is what we think the evidence shows. They don't tell us that this stuff is just their opinion. They tell us that it's 100% fact. I have a
No,
problem with that.
what I'm
I
trying
know
to say
you
is
don't.
that
I'm just saying
no,
in
no,
the
no, no.
textbook.
What I'm trying to say is that there are things that are facts, and
Like
that
what?
maybe, well, for example, the
Sun of sun.
radiation of the sun. Are we
Like how
okay
much
with
it
that?
is, how much radiation it emits? Yeah, we can measure
No,
that.
no,
Yeah.
no,
You can
no, not
measure
about how much. It is if there is or if there is not.
yeah, it's
And I think
detectable, right?
yeah, okay. So there is radiation from the sun. We can measure things from those radiations.
Like what?
We can. Well, I mean,
You can
I don't
measure
know
the
What can we
radiation, right?
measure? What can we measure about the sun?
about the sun, no, but take those things that we know about the sun, the stars, and the moon. Only the only things
I
that we know
don't know
that I
anything about the
know that are
stars.
facts. Like for example, the hot, the temperature that we have on the Earth, it is related to the sun. And that's a fact, right?
Of course.
Or, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
factor. The sun is definitely a factor, no doubt.
okay, okay.
There's other
So
factors
what?
though, right? There's
Yeah, there
also
is.
local air currents, elevation, sea
Moisture in
currents,
the air.
moisture in the air, whether there's a lot of foliage, whether like there's a lot of other factors which determine, the season, the temperature, all that stuff. The sun is part of it, but it's not the only thing.
It is not the only thing. Yeah, but taking from there, can we know, for example, that if the sun it is the center of the universe, or let's say it is not the universe, but the center
Nope.
of the galactic way that we are?
We can't know
The center of
that.
the solar system, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Can we
my
tell? No, we
English.
cannot tell. We cannot tell from where we are. No, we can't.
You don't know it. You don't know if it is a physical thing like a solar system, though. Either.
Earth could be the center. Like you arbitrarily pick the
And
center. Jupiter could be the center. Anywhere can be the center. You could make Jupiter the center, right? And you could create a model that would model what you would see from Earth, assuming Jupiter was the center. It's perfectly doable.
but the sun we can
Because you got
see.
to in modern cosmology, there's no absolute reference frame. Do you know what that means? There's no such thing as absolute space. There's only the motion of one object relative to another object. Right? This
Yeah,
is the general
I do
relativity.
understand.
This is why the speed of light is constant in all reference frames. Right? So when they tried to measure the motion of the Earth, the Michelson-Morley experiment failed to measure the Earth to be in motion. And this is why general relativity was invented, to explain this away. The fact that when they went to measure, they're like, Earth don't seem to be moving, but we can't have that. So we'll just say the fucking clocks don't work and the freaking rulers don't work. And we'll just say a bunch of bullshit. It's literally what they did. And that might sound
So
crazy, but that's what they did. So what they said was that when they measured the apparatus of the motion of the Earth using a interferometer, the apparatus shrunk in the direction of the Earth's orbit. The distance between the mirrors got closer because space-time bent because of special relativity, and that they couldn't measure the change in distance because of the constancy of the speed of light. That it's going to, no matter what they measure, it's going to look 300,000 meters per second, no matter whether they're going fast or slow or not. So they're always going to measure the same thing no matter what. See, this is the whole Einstein, right? This is all the stuff Einstein came up. A lot of people don't know that the whole Einstein thing exists because they couldn't measure the motion of the Earth. This isn't me making it up. You can fact check me. Michelson-Morley experiment. Einstein even said in a talk he gave, he's like, the motion of the Earth cannot be measured by any optical experiment. Meaning they can use lasers, they can use telescopes, they can use whatever, and they can't measure the motion of the Earth by looking at anything.
yeah,
Now
I
that might be
think I.
disturbing.
No. I actually read something about that. I know you're telling the truth. I'm even
Yeah,
though
it's called Michelson-Morley.
I do believe whatever you tell me. I mean, I'm going to actually study a lot of things that you sent me. because it's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, it is interesting. This topic, people think, oh, flat Earth, you guys are dumb. This topic's actually super complicated because it deals with
addictive.
science, measurement, history. You know what I mean?
addictive too.
Philosophy, all sorts of things are involved in this.
What I do believe, if and I say this not to you but to all globe earthers, that they should actually, as you said, fact check the the shape of the earth, that they should actually take the time to make these
And just look
experiments.
into it, right?
Yeah, man, like they should do that, and maybe they come to the conclusion that the globe, the earth is it's round or whatever, but they at least did something to actually prove it,
They've just
even
got to ask themselves one question, right? That one question is, how do I know the Earth's? That's it.
yeah, man, that's it. I think that's the most important thing about all this. Like, you should ask that question once in your life, and whatever the conclusion is, you
And if
at
it's
least
because I saw it on
try.
TV, then you need to look further into it.
Yeah, the key
Yeah,
thing is
man.
actually asking the question honestly. How do I know the Earth is a globe? Not how I think somebody else knows, because a lot of people, we go, how do you know the Earth is a globe? And they tell us what somebody else thinks. We want to know how they know it, not how like they think an astronaut knows it or some scientist knows it or somebody else. How do they know it? Because they don't know it. They think somebody else knows it. Okay. And they're relying on somebody else. And then we ask them, who's that person? They don't know who that is either. They say, well, there's lots of experiments. Okay, what experiment? They don't know what that is, right? They don't know who proved it. They don't know when it was proven. They don't know how it was proven. They don't know where it was proven. They just know it was proven out there sometime. We call this
Yeah,
the magic science guy fallacy. They think out
yeah.
there somewhere is a magic science guy that proved all these things. They just don't know who he is, what his name is, or where he's at, but they know he's out there. And I say to them, we're looking for him too. Tell us when you find him because we want to talk to him.
Here's a bounty.
Yeah, bounty, exactly. Hunt him down, man. Who's this guy that proved the globe? We want to talk to him because we've been looking
Yeah,
for him.
man.
I've been looking 8 years. But like, it's a question you ask. How do I know the Earth is a globe, and not how somebody else knows it? Like, what do you like? Because people act, and normally that would not be a fair question, but in this case it is because they think it's obvious, right? If you
Yeah,
think it's obvious,
they take
they
it
think
for
it's oh, it's
for
so
honest.
obvious it's a globe, right? It's so obvious. Okay, if it's so obvious, how do you know it's a globe? And then they don't.
Well,
It's not
that's the
obvious.
thing, and that's what you actually do really well, man. As a ex globe earther believer, whatever.
Yeah, a while ago.
That that yeah, that you actually take the time to say, well, okay, prove it. You know, all the people just assume it, and it is kind of easy if you know how to do it, just to prove or not prove or just to experiment. And most people don't do it, you know.
Look, I'm not. Listen,
It's
brother,
wild,
brother.
man.
I appreciate that a lot because I'm actually not trying to get them to prove it to me. I'm trying to get them to prove it to themselves.
Yeah.
I want them to prove it to themselves. Okay, how do you know the Earth's a globe? I want them to talk it out. Like, how do I know? How do I know the Earth's a globe? What evidence am I relying on? It does the evidence that I'm relying on justify the conclusion that the Earth's a globe, right? So we'll see. We're here things like, well, there'd be no horizon on a flat Earth. If the Earth was flat, there'd just be no horizon at all. And if you think about that for 5 or 6 seconds, you realize that no matter what you're on, there's gonna if you can see the sky and whatever you're on top of at the same time, there's gonna be a horizon because the horizon's the line that divides the sky and the ground, right? So if you're standing on anything, no matter what the shape is, there will be a horizon. Like they just never thought about it. And a lot of these things, they just never thought about it or thought it through. Like you even said it, like, why can't I see the Eiffel Tower? Because it's too far
Yeah.
away. Like, you're not fucking Superman. Like, what do you think, man? Like, why can't I see the Great Wall of China from New York? It's because you're not in China. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're in New York. That's why you can't see it. It has nothing to do with the Earth being a globe. It's very far away.
Yeah, that's something that I appreciate that you taught me today. I do not believe that the Earth is flat. I do not believe maybe that
You shouldn't.
the Earth is
You
round.
shouldn't believe at this point. You shouldn't believe anything. You should just be like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's the point.
undecided until I do a test.
That's the point. Accepting that maybe we as a whole society or world should take the time to experiment these kind of things and
If no one
see for
told you it was a
themselves.
globe, no one told you it was a globe, would you have come to that conclusion yourself?
No, I didn't.
No, because
I mean,
every day you experience as a flat stationary plane, right?
well,
You don't experience the globe, do you?
that's another thing that it's like a hot topic in these discussions. And the thing is, okay, in I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 decades ago, I can see why the government would lie about that
Don't worry
because of
about the
the
government. I'm just asking you.
No, but what I'm trying to go is like, why would they lie to
Who in
us
the
now?
government would even know? Do you think Donald Trump knows if the Earth's a globe? If I said to Donald
No,
Trump, "How do you know the Earth is a globe?" Do you think he's going to tell me an answer?
I don't think
Like,
he even
fine.
He's
going
going to
to
say the
make an
same thing
experiment.
everybody else says. All the scientists, magic science guy fallacy. That's what he's going to do. The same thing everybody else does. He's not going to do anything different. Donald Trump, fucking JD Vance, go down the line of every government official. They don't know anything. So they're not lying. They believe it.
But
Like you believe
why
you
Just
then?
said
get
you
given
believe the Earth
another
is a globe,
opportunity.
and like you weren't lying to us, right?
But why? No, I don't. I
And you've
truly
never
believe that.
experienced the globe either, so you
Yeah, it
just
wasn't a
believe it.
lie from me because that's right. It was
Yeah,
something I believed, maybe blindly, but
yeah, of
I
course.
did. But that's the thing. That's maybe the next answer. I'm sorry. That's maybe the next question that the
Question you
people
should
will
ask them.
have.
You got
Why
to
would
figure out
they?
who first. That's the like people ask
Yeah,
us
don't
why
worry
would
about
they
why.
lie. You have to figure out who would have to be lying first. Who would
Or
know
is it a lie?
for certain? Yeah, yeah. Or is there a lie at all? Yeah,
Well, is
right.
it?
Because lying is intentional deception, right? So they would know the truth that the Earth is flat, and then they would be telling people that it's not flat. So who would those people be? Apollo astronauts, right? The moon people, the moon landing, they would be lying. Maybe some people that work at Houston, handful of people here and there, they'd be lying, but not all of them, obviously, because so like the director of the Apollo program said no controller could tell the difference between their simulations and the real thing. So they're just looking at a screen. They don't know if it's real, but they believe it that Earth's a globe, but they don't know. So like if you go through and actually think about it, who would actually know and who would actually 100% have to be lying? That number of people is super freaking small, man. It would be like less. My guess is less than 10,000 people in the entire world. Maybe 10,000. That would probably be a stretch. Maybe
I reckon
20 people
less.
in every country.
That actually knows, or what?
Yeah, that would have that would actually know 100% that the Earth is flat. Would probably like maybe some countries probably would have nobody in their country that would know the Earth is flat.
But what do they gain from that? Like lying?
Fuck if I know.
Control.
If I knew,
What do
I'd
you
probably
gain?
be on there doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Why do people lie to people, right? To gain an
Well,
upper hand, right? It's always to gain an upper hand. The only reason you lie is to get an upper hand on someone. right?
Yeah, to deceive, to get a benefit from it. Yeah,
That's right.
but what's the benefit? I mean, if it is control,
The
then
benefit is to
If
get
you
the
knew,
upper hand.
yeah,
That's the whole
dude,
point
if
of
we
life.
knew, don't you think we'd be doing it too? We'd be like, fuck, bro, you get that? I'll take some of that.
yeah,
Like there's no way we could know. We can speculate, but we can't know. I mean, it could be a reason that we just can't even imagine. I mean, it could be a good reason, could be a bad reason. Could
that's
be
a
like,
good
hey,
point.
dude, there's fucking cannibal fucking zombies if you go too far across the plane, and we'll just tell people the Earth's the globe so they don't go over there. Like, it could be anything. Like, we don't know.
Well, I mean, that's actually a good point. Like maybe they're protecting us from something that
It could
we
be that.
don't have to know, because then it will be chaos, and
Yeah.
well, that's an aimer. But
I mean, one reason I've heard is limited resources, right? So if the Earth is a globe, then the resources are limited, right? And if you go anywhere, you just end up back at the same place, right? So there's no point in going, like, say, hey, I'm going to go for a walk in one direction. I'm going to walk as far as I can. Well, we're not even going to try if you think you're just going to end up back where you started, right?
It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I know, right?
Walk that way and you'll end up behind me.
when you
Walk
when
away
you
from
leave your
me and you'll
house,
be behind
tell your girlfriend, I'm on my way home, honey.
me. Start walking away.
that would be if the Earth is ground, because you will do like, you know.
Well, not even. That would only happen on the equator. Anywhere
I think
else
it's
on the
funny,
globe.
like the Qibla where you have to pray to Mecca. If you're in New Zealand and look it up, you have to pray toward Antarctica because that prayer goes around the globe and toward Mecca.
Yeah, you can face
So
any
think about that.
direction you
You're
want,
praying
really,
south
right?
to Mecca.
So you don't think that the Antarctic wall and all that shit that they come up with, you know, the global earther?
There are pictures of a wall-looking cliff, right? And they've shown it in, the U.S. Geological Services. There's photos of it in expeditions and things like that. But whether it circles a planet, whether it circles a flat, like Earth, like I haven't seen any evidence of that.
The ice
So
wall.
you just don't know.
The ice wall
Yeah.
comes from. So there was a guy named James Cook, Captain James Cook. He tried to
Yeah, I know.
circumnavigate the ice, right, of Antarctica to find an inland passage, like a river that would go into Antarctica. Well, he didn't find it, but he did. He did say there was an ice wall. That's what he said. That there was a great ice barrier that prevented him from getting into Antarctica.
Are you
And he
kidding me?
recorded.
We're still
Hold on.
on this ice wall theory. This has already been like
No,
debunked.
we're explaining.
Here
No,
we
why are
go.
you straw man and what we're doing, dude? Why would you do that?
Yeah, you just jump into a
Oh yeah,
conversation.
there's like 7
What was
more,
I
8
talking
more
about?
continents
Repeat to
that
me what I
exist.
just said. Repeat to me what I was
You're
just
talking
saying
about
to
a
him.
person. You were talking about an individual called James saying that there's an ice wall.
James,
Like-
Captain James Cook. No, I said
He's
Great
showing
Ice
how-
Barrier.
he's showing how
Crown.
retarded he is.
I said Great Ice Barrier, and it's still on maps today. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because there is an ice barrier. Like I'm just
Oh,
letting you know
thank
there
you.
is an ice
What
barrier.
is a
Okay, there
barrier?
is then.
No, he brought up ice wall. I was telling him about the ice barrier, which is on maps, which is not a flat Earth idea. It's a globe Earth idea. That's what I was telling
Yeah,
him.
I'm letting him know that. That's what I'm saying.
You're letting me know that. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
No, not you,
Anyway,
Sherlock, the other guy. Like this guy doesn't even know the difference between you and him. Like this guy, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Your nervous laughter is pathetic. Just shut up. Anyway,
you went on a 5-minute tangent explaining the difference between a wall and a
it
barrier.
wasn't 5 minutes, about 45 seconds, dude. Good try.
Oh, so you just
Your
figured out
narrative,
how
your
it is.
narrative
Nice try.
your meta conversation narrative spinning is an epic fucking fail, bro.
Hey, can
You're
you
not
What a
good at
word
it.
salad.
You're like a
What a word
20-year-old
salad.
fucking kid.
What a
fucking
word salad. What a word salad.
spiraling
Oh, wait,
out,
so
dude.
20-year-olds are kids? 20-year-olds are kids?
You're goddamn right, they're kids.
Hey, can
What a
you tell me?
moron, dude.
Can you tell me?
What
Yeah,
a
20-year-olds
moron.
are
why?
kids, especially nowadays,
20-year-olds
dude.
are kids? I think
I
that tells
spent
me
more
everything I
time
need to know
outside
about
by
you.
the time I was 11 than you've spent outside yet.
What does that have anything to do with 20-year-olds being kids?
Because I have more experience about the world about being
Oh, so
outside.
you having more experience about the world means
When I was
20-year-olds are
11,
kids?
I had more world experience than you do now. When I
And
was
that
11.
means
Leo.
20-year-olds are kids?
Hey,
Yes,
Leo.
because you
Leo.
have the
What a,
so you have the level of experience I had when I was like 5 or 6.
yeah,
You're
and
a
that
kid.
means 20-year-olds are kids?
Yes, they're kids, children.
Your
Look at
personal
you.
experience means
Look at
20-year-olds
you.
universally
You're
are
acting.
kids.
Your maturity level speaks for itself.
Oh, so my maturity level means all 20-year-olds are kids?
No, it means no. Doesn't mean all 20-year-olds
Let me
are
go ahead and
children
add a
to me
criteria. Oh,
because
let me
I'm
add a
gonna
criteria.
20.
Yeah,
No,
look
I'm
how
talking
slow
about
you look.
20-year-olds now. People like you,
Yeah, so
Zoomers.
20-year-olds now, because of people like me, 20-year-olds now
Why
are
are you like
kids.
repeating it over and over again, trying to straw man my
Yeah,
position
because you're
over and over?
claiming
So
something
this is how you
universal
do.
and
So
factually
you're
incorrect.
saying whenever someone says so, you're
I said
saying that a
20-year-olds
straw
are
man.
kids. What a
Yeah, I did
moron,
say.
dude.
I'll say it again.
This guy doesn't even
20-year-olds
know
are
that
kids, including you.
18-years-olds and
Oh
19-year-olds
my
and
God,
20-year-olds, these are
20-year-olds are
grown
kids.
adults, dude. Like,
Oh my
what a
God,
long
20-year-olds
tangent
are
proving
kids.
nothing, dude.
Oh my God, 20-year-olds.
Oh my
Do you
God, that's
think repeating
embarrassing,
yourself
dude.
is like some
Oh
sort of
my
argument?
God, that is actually so embarrassing for him. He doesn't
No,
even know 18-year-olds and older are adults, bro. There's no way. And he's talking
they're
about
legally adults, but
barriers.
they have the mental maturity of a child, like you.
Oh
That's why
yeah,
you're
your
giggling and
opinion
laughing like a
matters.
little
Your
girl.
opinion matters for sure. Your opinion matters.
It's not my opinion; it's my observation. You have to want to call him a girl. Must have hit the target. Anyway,
Anyway.
moving on. How dare?
Yeah.
Anyway, Cook recorded that he sailed 60,000 miles. Okay,
Yeah.
now if the circumference of the Earth is 25,000 miles, that fucking don't jibe, right? So he sailed more than twice the circumference of the Earth to sail around Antarctica. How does that make sense? So anyway, this ice. The point is, this ice wall idea doesn't come from us. It comes from the globe Earth and like people trying to make sense out of Antarctica, the Southern Ocean, and what the fuck's going on down there. Because it didn't appear on maps for a long time, and it appeared on maps for a long time, and then when it appeared on some of the older maps, it didn't have ice on it, right? So like, there's a lot of like, they say now that they got it all figured out, but even that is kind of cap. You got idiots like this dude Colin Brady who said he walked across Antarctica and that he navigated with a compass, but the geomagnetic frickin' South Pole is supposed to be in the middle of the Southern Ocean. So if he followed his compass, he would have ended up in the fucking water. So like, there's a whole bunch of weird shit, dude. So,
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
but that doesn't determine whether the Earth is flat or not. Even like globe Earthers think there's fucking hidden Nazi alien bases and fucking submarine bases in Antarctica and shit. So the Nazis
So
went to Antarctica to look for the fucking the spear that pierced Christ and like all sorts of shit. What do they
so
call it? The
I'm
spear of
like,
destiny or something?
yeah, I don't know. I'm like the mythbusters. I'm like, well, people think you say that there is a city under Antarctica, or actually no under, but after Antarctica. It isn't right. Like, you don't believe that, right?
Do I? No.
Yeah, I mean, you as a whole. I mean, as a
I
collective.
don't think anybody in here believes there's a city under Antarctica.
Or there is an ice wall that.
I'm not even sure. Well, I mean, there's an ice wall in the sense that
Yeah,
there's
I
a
mean,
fucking
there
glacier
is an.
that sticks out from the land that fucking,
Yeah,
hundreds of miles.
yeah,
And
that
it's hundreds of feet tall. So technically it's an ice wall, but I don't think there's a Game of Thrones ice wall that surrounds the Earth that if you climb over it, you're going to fall to space. Like, I don't think any of that. Like, the way they
that.
depict flat Earth, like in internet fucking memes and thumbnails, nobody thinks that. Nobody
Yeah,
believes in that flat Earth.
that's the question. Yeah, that it is
My view is
false.
more metaphysical than that. I don't have a materialist viewpoint of reality. I believe there's a material world, and I believe there's a metaphysical, spiritual, supernatural world, and they're kind of meshed together. They're not they're separated, but they're also intertwined. Let's put it that way. But you're an atheist, so you probably wouldn't go with that.
Yeah.
I guess you could be an atheist and still be spiritual and not believe in God.
Well,
I mean,
that's what I was about to say. I mean, I kind of believe that. I'm more inclined to believe that than acknowledging that there is a God. But I get what you say, and yeah, I mean,
yeah, the world can't be completely material. I mean, it's impossible that would be true because we have things which
we
are
can talk
we have
about
things which
yeah.
well, we have things that exist which aren't material, and you can't prove they exist with the
You
material
know,
world, such as logic. Where is logic? Where does that come from? Where's that?
I can even meet you halfway and say there is a soul. You
Yeah,
know,
okay.
that's you can take it the religious way, you can take it the metaphysical way, but you know, you don't have to be a you can be an atheist, and still believe about the soul,
Yeah.
and that's
Well, I mean, you don't have to you can be an atheist as in no God, because
atheist.
a theist thinks there's a God and he has a personality, right? He's a person,
Mm.
right? But there's people that think like the universe is God, like the monad and the dyad, right? That like nature's God or God is some other metaphysics. He doesn't have a personality. So technically, if you believe that, you're not a materialist. You're an atheist, but not a materialist atheist. You still believe in immaterial things.
Yeah, that's
What
like
I
the
don't like is a
halfway.
materialist atheist that just say the only thing that exists is physical matter and physical energy, and that's the only thing that exists. And your mind is just chemical reactions in some physical matter created by the Big Bang, fucking 9.2 billion years ago, 90 billion years ago, whatever they're at now. I think that is fucking poison.
Which
That
is in
viewpoint.
some way kind of hypocritical. I mean, I don't know how to say right the word, but even then, if you think that if you believe in the Big Bang and whatever, like there is some metaphysical thing in that, you know,
I
what I'm
know.
trying to say.
I know that.
Like,
I know.
Religious.
Yeah, it's
if you
religious.
can, if you want to say religious, you can say religious, but for the
It is.
atheist, well, but if you can see it from the eyes of
So
the
faith,
atheist,
faith without evidence, right?
oh, maybe. Yeah, but I
Yeah, well,
mean,
it is.
if you believe if you believe in Big Bang and you're an atheist, you believe in some kind of metaphysical world or
Yeah, a
things at
creator.
least. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get my point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
we
world
get your
was
point.
created. The world was created from nothing, right?
Which is why I think atheists that think that espouse that say, hey, the only thing there is the physical world, and it's like a fucking just follows the laws of physics, and it's just like a machine, and I'm conscious, but that's only chemical reactions caused by atoms and molecules and stuff, and it's some emergent property that doesn't really exist, and there's no such thing as right and wrong, and there's no objective truth, and there's no such thing as meaning. I think that, even like you said, those are metaphysical statements, but they deny that they're metaphysical, and I think that shit is poison. I think that they're fucking people that espouse that viewpoint are fucking poisonous to the human spirit, dude.
Yeah, yeah. But believing that doesn't need to go to the religious way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't base my viewpoint of this on religion. The flat Earth to me has nothing to do with religion. I just don't. I just know one thing, that the flat Earth idea, it cannot. It can support an atheist. It can't support what I call the materialist atheist worldview. The worldview that there is no God and everything in the universe is determined by physical laws. Only, just physical laws, and that there is nothing else but physics.
What I do find strange, maybe it's nothing to do with this, but I am the only fucking globe or ex-globe earther believer in this chat. Like, I think this is like a very interesting topic.
I'm an ex-globe earther.
Well,
So
we all
Stanley.
are. That's true.
Yeah, because
But
it's how we were taught.
yeah,
So we
but
learned.
there's not a lot of people here talking about this, and there's not like an open discussion about this. Like, I'm since I don't know, it's been like 2 hours,
You
maybe
are the
more.
Yeah.
open discussion, dude.
I just
Yeah,
blab a lot, dude.
but how's there's not a lot of people here, man? That it's
They're
like a
listening,
very
dude.
interesting
You're
discussion.
entertaining.
Yeah.
They're listening to you, man.
The problem if you have too many people speaking at the same time, the conversation never goes anywhere. So everyone in this room knows when to sit back, when to let the
But I mean,
conversation go. You know.
Yeah, like if it
that's
wasn't us talking, me and T-Dub, it would be freaking Drace could talk. He could talk to you too, man. He'd make different points than us, and it'd be just as valid. Everyone in here, like there was a time when we first, because a lot of us have been together for a while. There was a time when like everyone would be fighting to get to you, dude, and we all be talking over each other, screaming at each other, and then it would be very counterproductive. I'm guilty of it too. I would do the same thing. And we've just like over time we've kind of learned, to just whoever's dealing with, a newcomer or somebody with questions, just let that person deal with it. You know what I mean? And let them talk to them like kind of exclusively. So that's why
well, the
it's like
thing is,
this. It isn't like
it is easier it is easier to learn something, even it's whatever, no. I mean, it is kind of hard to erase everything you knew and to accept this new reality that you bring up. I get that from a lot of people, but I mean, given the chance to actually sit down and take a look or listen to whatever you say, I mean, you any people should do that, even if I came out from here and say, well, maybe I'm not a flat earther, but I did speak to a group and they taught me things like, I don't know, man. I think it's really important for people to do that. And I'm maybe not talking
I
to
agree
you
with you,
about
man.
this. I'm talking to the people who maybe are listening in the YouTube or maybe are here in mute. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone has at least, maybe at least one question or some self doubt about what they do believe, just blindly. What we were talking about this time, like, I don't know, maybe that's why I find strange that nobody likes like come in here
A lot of
with
the
a
people in here are
respectful
flat
question.
earthers. Well, I mean, just wait, dude. It depends.
Yeah, I'll be
There's an ebb
around.
and flow to this. We'll get like 20 people after. I mean, we get that jerk that just came in here. I mean, we get like usually there'll be someone like that every 30 minutes that will come in and do
Yeah,
that, something like that.
that's annoying, man.
That's normal. Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. Like dude, you get used
That's
to
what
being
the,
annoyed. To be
yeah,
honest,
yeah. It is frustrating
regardless of
for
the
you
facts,
also,
I
right?
just want to tell you something. Regardless of the facts that we give, there is a sociological and kind of psychological element to this discussion about this topic that just can't be ignored. It like people just don't just like, okay, here are the facts, and I'm just gonna, just unbiased look at the facts. There's always way more to it. Some people, they really like the idea of outer space and going to Mars, and it creates because that's kind of like part of their identity. They can't really hear the information. And then there's other people that are atheists and they think like a flat earth is based upon God, and their bias also would not allow them to hear the information. And then there's other ones that are just like think flat earth is a conspiracy theory and they're just government bootlickers, and they think that, flat earth is against the government and they can't hear what we have to say either. So like there's people come in here, they have baggage. Right.
Yep. There's even Globers who come in here and say, "Oh well, flat Earth is a psyop," so like they think we're part of the government, but they can't keep their story straight.
So when I looked at this, I literally had no preference, and which might sound weird, but I was concerned about other things when I ran into this topic. I wasn't really thinking about it, and I just took in the information, and I was like, "Wow, I got to look into this a little bit further." Like, because there was like there was a news report, right, in Chicago. So it was a Chicago TV station, and they were doing the weather, and they were like, "Oh, so we're going to show you a picture from Josh Nowicki. He took a picture of Chicago from the Warren Dunes. So that's across Lake Michigan in America. The photograph is 52 miles. So 52 miles across Lake Michigan, he took a photograph. That's like 72 kilometers. Okay. So I was like, wow. And he said, what you're seeing here is a mirage, because it would be impossible if the Earth was a globe. So you had to say it was a mirage. But you could look at the picture and see it's not a mirage. It looks nothing like a mirage. So that made me look into it further. That's the point. Like, I didn't have any bias. I wasn't attached to the globe. I wasn't attached to flat. Like, I didn't think anything. Right. So, but if you are attached to the idea of like going to space, or especially, or Elon Musk or any of that stuff, right? Any of the pop ideas about modern human progress or something, it's hard for some of these people to actually even hear the information.
Yeah, and I can understand that, man. It is
because they're invested in some of these ideas. If you're like a space nerd, right, and you're all into spaceships and black holes and satellites or whatever it is you're into, and then you come across flat Earth and we're like, none of that shits exist. Oh, so you're telling me I just wasted 8 years of my life being a space nerd? Like, yeah, that's what we're telling you. Yeah, they can't hear that.
The PhD guy that came here and you told you told them wrong, and it was like, hey, well, fuck. I mean, I can see from his eyes, like, well, I studied this thing. I wasted my time, my lifetime, studying something that in, I don't know, 2 hours in one night you're proven wrong. That's tough shit, man.
Because he never questioned the assumptions of his field, right? So one of the things I brought up to him was like, when you do observations of the sky as an astrophysicist, do you take the Earth being a globe into account? Which I already knew the answer to. The answer is no. Right? They don't need the Earth to be a globe to do any of that, right? Because everything is so far away, they assume the Earth in their model, right? The Earth is just a point, right? Everything is so far away, they can just assume the Earth is a point, and they're at the origin of the coordinate system, right? And that's all they need. The Earth can be fucking anything. It doesn't matter what it is. So it's not required to do anything they're doing. They just assumed it, right? So he just never actually questioned, the whole thing, right? So we're like, okay, we went through the whole thing, right? The Earth that has a radius, right? So, and this is the funny thing, is there's something called the cosmic distance ladder. Have you ever heard of this? The cosmic distance ladder?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so the cosmic, how they get the distances to the planets and the sun and the stars and all this stuff. It's called the cosmic distance ladder. So first they got the thing they never measured, the radius of the Earth, and then they get the distance to the sun, and then they get the distance to the planets, and then they get the distance to the, you know what I mean, based upon a bunch of different things, different like redshift and parallax and Cepheid variables and supernova fucking explosions and blah blah blah. Okay, that's not important. Important is the first rung of that, the radius of the Earth, was never measured. So they've never measured the very first thing everything else is built upon. And like we've talked to astrophysicists, and we've talked to them about like, hey, where do you get the distances from? Well, we measure redshift and then we go backwards, and they don't know that we're leading them back to the beginning. Okay, where'd you get the distance of the sun? And that's where it starts falling apart. Because you can't measure the distance of the sun by looking at it. They had to assume that Venus was the same size as the Earth, which they couldn't know by looking at it. And then they timed Venus going across the face of the sun. So if they know the size of Venus, and then Venus takes so long to go across the sun, they can get the size of the sun. But they don't know the size of Venus because they don't know the size of the Earth.
Yeah, you keep going backwards and backwards and backwards,
Yeah,
and
so it's like
it is based in something that they
and
have.
then he was
Okay.
shocked. Yeah, he was totally
Yeah.
shocked at like, hold on, dude. So it can't even be measured in principle. So like you can't even measure the radius of the Earth in principle. You'd have to go to the center of the Earth and then like take a tape measure and measure the surface. You can only calculate based upon assuming shit. So you can't actually measure it. So the whole cosmology, all of it, is based upon a value that's never been measured. Which is fucking, he never realized that, and he was kind of freaking out. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. No,
yeah, it's pretty kooky. We had the other dude. Who was it? Itar. Artar was he's a post-grad doing his PhD on exoplanets. He also didn't know about the cosmic distance ladder. Did not have any idea how that shit was created. Did not have any idea about how the distance of the sun or the planets or how any of that worked. Now think about that. This guy's going for a PhD in astrophysics, and he doesn't know anything about how they got the distance to the sun. He just read, sun's 93 million miles away. That's it.
Yeah, that's
He
it.
did not ever question how they got that value at all.
So one thing that is really bugging me, it is that when you go and see, for example, a spaceship being launched into space, like you can go and see that. I mean, I don't, because in my
Yeah, but you
country
can't see it go to
we don't
space.
have it. Yeah,
But that's the thing. You don't see it go to space, dude. You see it launch. And you see it launch and take a parabolic arc and go out of sight. That's what you actually see. You can't tell if it went to space or not. Like, think about it like this. Say you had an intermediate range missile that goes 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And you had that rocket, and then you had a rocket that says, this rocket's going to space. And they both launched at the same time. They would look identical. You would not be able to tell the difference between the one that went to space and the one that goes 1,000 miles.
So, for example, I don't know if you remember or if you ever saw it, the Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The thing, yeah. I think that man that dropped from the stratosphere, or I don't know where it was.
128,000 feet. Yeah, we know all about it. We're well aware of it.
So, like, I mean, he had a camera.
That jump. Yeah, we know the outside camera. It had a fisheye lens. It's called a fisheye lens.
Oh, yeah.
That jump.
I know, yeah.
So here's the funny thing: is that jump actually proves the flat Earth. And let me tell you how. Because the lens that wasn't a fisheye was inside the capsule, facing out. Right, the door. It was facing the door. So they got the photograph of him at the door when he was 10 feet, but before they went up, right? So he's at the door and it's 10 feet, and you can see the horizon at his waist level. And then when right before he jumps out, he's at the door again, and the horizon is at the exact same place at waist level. But he's supposed to be at
Oh, wait.
128,000 feet. Yeah, I'll show
Fuck
you.
me.
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually searching the video right now. Red Bull Space Jump. I don't know how to call it.
Well, I mean, they can call it whatever they want. It wasn't no space jump.
Okay, so what I'm seeing right now is that he has the camera. This frame, this exact frame. I'm going to send it in the chat.
I think it's Planet Mexico. Dude, you think that's Planet New Mexico?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where.
I'm saying, man. Dude, even Neil deGrasse Tyson says that.
No, there's like a frame. Well, actually, the start of the video.
Can you look in the side chat?
See. In the second 08. In the second 8 second. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
There's
can you look
that frame.
Can you look in the side chat, dude, before you go through all that? Look in the side chat.
Yeah.
There's a picture from that camera when they're on the ground. Look at the Earth. Look at the horizon. If you scroll up a little bit, what Dre's posted. And then there's what I posted.
That is from inside the capsule or whatever that.
No, that's mine. The one right above that. So it's right above. You see that?
Where it says
the Earth
10 feet?
No, above. Scroll up one more. Dre's posted it. Just go to fire icon under it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Remember Felix Borgmar? Yeah. Yeah.
That one. So obviously it shows the Earth. The Earth isn't curved from 10 feet. Now, what I showed you, the one inside, right? You see how the horizon is going right across his waist at the same place? Well, if the Earth was a sphere, the horizon is supposed to, from that height, it's supposed to dip down 6 degrees. Okay? So 6 degrees, the sun is half a degree, and the moon is half a degree. So it should be 12, the equivalent of 12 moons stacked on top of each other. That's how much lower the horizon should be. So the horizon should be like at the bottom of the door. Because the Earth, if it's curved, the horizon dips down because it's a ball, right? It should dip when you go up higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't do that.
Yeah, and if you look at your picture 8 seconds into the video, you see how curved the Earth looks in that image?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, if the Earth were that curved at that height, the horizon were that curving, the Earth would be so small that it would be planet New Mexico. It would not fit any other continent.
Yeah, that's like comparing the two pictures with the waist one, where it matches the waist and the Earth, and the one of the frame that I'm looking at, you can tell that it is not the same curvature. I get what you say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the external camera is like a fisheye lens because they're trying to capture. This is an advertisement. You got to remember, fundamentally, Red Bull played for this as an advertisement.
Yeah, Red Bull.
They're trying to make it look good. You know what I mean?
I mean, when I'm seeing the waist one, the one that matches, in the window at the left, you can see like certain curvature.
No, it's just the angle of the window. Remember, this is a sealed capsule, so they got super thick windows.
Yeah. I imagine. So
the point is the point I'm saying is the line that crosses his body is in the same place. It should be lower when he's up in the air. It should be like down by his feet. The horizon line should be down by his feet. It should drop down as you go up. Like Yagi posted that animation, right?
Yeah.
So the Earth, because it's curved, like it would dip down because you're going above a ball. But if you're just rising above a plane, the plane is just going to extend out. Now, I'm not saying this is flat. This is obviously evidence that the Earth is flat. I wouldn't call it a proof. I wouldn't rely on this to prove anything.
Well, that's another thing, like all the pilots in planes and all that, shouldn't they like tell if
No, it's not really high. Planes don't really go high enough. Now remember, they say the Earth is 8,000 miles in diameter. Planes only fly 10 miles high. So like 1/800th of the diameter. How would they ever be able to see the Earth? They're nowhere near high enough. In fact, you shouldn't even be able to see curve from 250 miles. And if you look at like the Chinese space station, what they say is their space station, they show a flat Earth. And they're like at 250 miles, like 400 kilometers.
Wasn't there a
the
discrepancy
Chinese.
with where he landed as well with that Red Bull jump?
Yeah, backwards.
I don't know. I don't know where
Backwards
he landed.
87 miles. Apparently, the Earth decided to
He
spin
went
the wrong way
backwards
that
87
day.
miles against the rotation.
Correct.
Yeah, he was supposed to have risen up, and there should have been a Coriolis effect, and he should have gone the opposite direction based on rotation, but he landed the other way.
Was it 87 or 37? It was something 7 miles that it went. Allegedly, the Earth stopped and decided to go backwards for a couple of hours. I must have missed it.
Well, I mean, the wind has to do anything, no? Like, there are a lot of factors that may have interfered where he landed.
So he's
No.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
The Earth's supposed to be rotating 1,040 miles underneath him, and the wind decided to blow the opposite way. At what speed?
How was the wind traveling faster than the Earth rotation?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find.
Really good
Actually, I'm
engineering.
trying. Yeah. Actually, I'm seeing the Chinese space station. What you told me right now.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I don't believe in a Chinese space station either, but Chinese can do math, so they actually faked it right.
They can find a way to.
Yeah, they faked it right because they're all faking it like their own way, right? So, like, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the India stuff. It's so horrible. And Japan ain't much better with the crap that they put out. And the Russians, man, they must be colorblind because the colors, none of their colors match anything anybody else does. One of their Earth images has like the MacBook Photoshop grabby hand still in the frickin' image.
So they took photos from the nah. That
No, they're not photos. They're not photos. I wish they were photos, but they're not. They're yeah, that one. So the one that was just posted, this is supposed to be like 7 or 5 years apart or something, and it's the same weather. I don't know how that happens. Yeah, when it comes to NASA stuff, I mean, it's like, I mean, you either take it on faith or don't. I mean, we can't prove that they faked it, other than, they depict all these oceans, this curving ocean. We can go to the ocean and measure that it's not curving. Other than that, we can't really. We have no
Nah, the thing,
methodology to prove a photo's fake.
what's crazy to me it is that they all have like different versions of it, of the world as it whole, and the photos.
Oh man, there's so many. You don't even know, dude. There's
No.
so many.
But there are a lot of pictures of the world. They are all round, spherical, or whatever you want to call it. But
They're all
even
different colors, different continent sizes, different cloud cover, different water color. Everything's they don't look the same amongst each other. You know what I mean? To
That's the
compare them to
thing.
each other.
Mm. That's the thing. Like they all have those, but they all differ one each other, and that's fucking crazy. You know, like how why in Russia have different pictures of the same world as China or USA or India or whatever, and
The
like
Russians say this is a funny one. The Russians say the moon is brown because they say they
that's
sent something up there. They said when they got up there, the moon was brown. But
crazy,
the
man.
United States says it's gray. And I don't know what the Chinese show. Like, there's so much crap out there. So here's another one. This private company said they sent a probe to the moon. Okay, this happened. I don't know, like 6 months ago. They sent a probe to the moon, and they just happened to get there when there was a lunar eclipse from Earth.
So
So on Earth, it's a lunar eclipse, but on the moon, it would be a solar eclipse, right?
to be all black.
Yeah. So
Or what
from the
was
Earth, the lunar eclipse, the Earth is supposed to be getting in the way of the sun, right?
Yeah.
But if you're on the moon, it's a solar eclipse, right? The Earth's getting in the way of the sun, but you're on the moon looking at the sun. The Earth goes in the way and blocks the sun, right? You understand?
I'm
If
trying
you're on
to.
the moon. Let's say you're on the moon. You are on the moon, and you're looking at the Earth from the moon.
Yeah.
Or you're looking at the sun, and then the Earth goes in the way of the sun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the picture they showed had what's called a ring of fire. You know that ring that's around during a solar eclipse?
Yeah.
The ring.
Yeah.
Well, if you were on the moon, that wouldn't happen because the Earth is way bigger than the moon. The Earth would block out the sun completely. But they didn't think when they faked it. And they made a ring of fire on their fake video.
But
it's very funny that they didn't check, dude. They didn't realize that if you were on the moon, that the moon would completely block the sun. Or the Earth would completely block the sun so that you couldn't see it.
Yeah, you can see the same thing with the moon landings. The Earth from the moon landings is very tiny, kind of like how the moon is from Earth. But the claim is that Earth. Yeah, claim is Earth is supposed to be 4 times larger.
And the angular size of the Earth would be much larger than the sun from the moon in their worldview.
Fucking insane. Apocalypse.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture.
Did it for clicks.
Yeah, so this is supposedly they were on the moon, and this is the picture they took. So, allegedly, but that would be the Earth blocking the sun. But the Earth would be so large from the moon that it would block the sun completely, and that there could be no ring of fire.
That I mean, the distance doesn't have anything to do with it. Like if you take your finger, for example.
Yeah, but the Earth and the moon are the same distance either way, right? So like if I'm on the moon, if the moon blocks out the sun perfectly, right? So that they're the same size. If I'm on the moon and the Earth is larger than the moon, it'll look bigger in the sky, right? It won't be a half a degree. I think it's like 1.7 degrees, which is like 300 times the size or something. Hold on, I actually got the math. Let me find it.
Yeah, but it's kind of like your example. Your thumb can like barely block out the light, so that at arm's length, so that the light spreads around your thumb, and you can see like a halo around it. That would be on the Earth looking at the moon. The moon is your thumb in this instance. However, in the other instance, the same distance, but instead of a thumb, you have a book, for instance, and the book completely covers the light, so you don't see that halo effect.
Actually, you may laugh, but I'm doing that same experiment right now. Like I'm blocking the light from the ceiling, but I'm thinking like, does the thumb blocks me? You know what I'm trying to say? Like if I am in my thumb and I'm trying to look to me, like I'm pretty sure I can't see me because I'm bigger.
Yeah, that's the point. You're bigger than your thumb, just like the Earth is claimed to be bigger than the moon. And so, if I put this flashlight behind your thumb, you can see the rim of light around the thumb because the flashlight is a little bit bigger than the thumb. But if I put the flashlight behind your head, you're not going to see the light because it's shining at the back of your head. If you were at the position of the thumb in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
Because that object is bigger, so the light doesn't get around it. So it didn't work out geometrically. They didn't account for, like, they keep telling us like, oh well, the sun is 400 times further away and like the 400 times bigger, and that's why they look the same size. But that wouldn't be the same if you were looking from the moon. The Earth would look far bigger than the moon due to perspective. The same distance, much bigger object.
Well, this is all kind of a lot. For me right now, but I'm going to study a lot more probably tomorrow because it is 3 a.m. right now. But it was really nice talking to you. I'm grateful for this space, and I don't know, man. I thank you all for showing me your points with patience and nothing, man. I'm going to study all the things that you sent. I actually saved a lot in my browser to continue looking it up tomorrow. But anyways, I think I'll say that that's it. Yeah. Fuck. That's what I'm going to say.
It was a pleasure listening to you.
Hey, I'm going to be around practicing my English more. So I think I'll see you here.